I wish I was back there in 1827. Just leave it at that. Who doesn't? Let's see. Then going back to, we were trying to pack a whole bunch of stuff in here when it comes to day in history. William Burroughs. You read any of his stuff? Naked Lunch?
A little bit.
Okay. Too dark for you?
No, just, haven't found
Nothing's
the
too
time.
dark for you.
No.
Two of my favorite presidents, Wilson and FDR. Just a little history on those guys. Plus, remember when Colin Powell did that speech in order to get us to go into the war against Iraq? It's like, you can see the weapons of mass destruction there on that slide. Plus, also, the Winter Games vows to investigate claims of... I didn't even see I didn't look at the story ahead of time. There it is. Really? What?
Kyle over at Seattle Sports said, I got a great story.
All right,
I'm
going to be reading that one during the break. Okay. And Donald Trump's poll ratings dropped precipitously. I think he's down around 26% or something like that. It's... Yikes. And then today, there's good and bad. There's some good stuff and some bad stuff in here. Just leave it at that because people get all upset. Also, Bill Clinton has... you want to be in contempt of Congress? Careful, we'll send you to jail because no one's above the law. So Bill will be forthcoming with his testimony coming up, I think, next week.
2 weeks.
Hillary's involved in this, too.
She's going to testify as well.
Also, we'll get to the fact that this is really strange. These people, there's a guy that had this house. It was just like an Airbnb in Las Vegas. And somebody went in there to clean up the place, and they noticed a weird smell. And then they got kind of sick. Other people had gone into this house, had also gotten ill. And then they noticed there was kind of a makeshift lab in the guy's garage. They're like, what the what did they find out was actually in there? What was he working on? Do we know?
They haven't said yet.
They don't know.
They don't know.
Mysterious. Oh, good. We didn't run out of music yet. Plus, this is probably a great place to get married if you think you're going to have a scary and frightful marriage, and it's only going to cost you $30,000 to rent the place.
It's about what you charge, right?
I have some, Nick. I said, we don't charge enough. Charge more. She's like, no, I'm going to change more. I'm like, you get the whole place?
Yeah, you should charge more.
You did fine then. You talk to those brides. Come in there with their bride moms. Beating you up on stuff. I'm like, just take it. Just here. Go. Wonderful memories. Carlene Johnson's going to stop by. She's from the, of course, Center Square. She's going to bring us up to date on the latest that's been happening there in Olympia. And did she get any answers from anybody? She sat down, I think, with the superintendent of schools, right?
I think she's sitting down with him right now.
Oh, she's sitting down now. Okay. Here's what I would do if I had an interview with him. I would have him sit. I'd stand and then pace back and forth.
That tracks.
Plus, also the parent of... Oh, we did get the middle schooler.
I think so. He said he'd come on. We're negotiating the details.
I watched the guy...
I'm trying to get him to commit to not swearing.
No swearing. Andrew, you better get ready for this guy. He is madder than a hornet. And he has taken his kid out of this middle school, and man, he has not much mercy for anybody that was insisting that his kid go out there and protest. This is a grade school, Cascade Middle School. Father loses it, and hopefully he doesn't lose it on the air, but we're going to try to get him on. And the nice thing is, for that father and for other parents as well, they're like the parent in Auburn, my kid's coming out. You want to have my kids march around the streets of Seattle? You don't want them in school? You don't want them learning anything? They're all coming out. And that, eventually, is a good thing. Because then you'll find there's some other places you can send your kids. 47,000 kids are removed from the school districts. I think it was about 2 years ago is the last number we got. And with every kid that goes, money goes. And then you get the school district there in Seattle. You get the school board going, oh, please come back again. Nope. You get one chance or a couple of chances. And if you fail, well, then you're failing the kids, you're failing the parents, you're failing society, and you get a choice to take your kids somewhere else. Unfortunately, you have to pay for it. Okay, here we go. I was thinking... There was a fire that broke out in Georgetown, Washington, D.C., and this is crazy, but a couple of members of the House saw the fire, and they raced over there and helped put it out as best they possibly could. And they watched as some of the people were coming out with nothing more than the clothes on their back. And these 3 or 4 congressmen were quite disturbed by it. So the next day, they went back into the House and they proposed a bill. $20,000 was the bill, and that was the amount of money. And what they're going to do is they were going to help the people that had lost so much in the homes that had burned there in Georgetown. It seemed like a good thing at first, right? But then one of the congressmen was out looking for votes, and he ran into a farmer, and the farmer was near his plow, and the farmer walked away from the plow and came over and says, I know who you are, and I'm not going to vote for you. I voted for you before, but I'm not going to vote for you now. And the congressman sort of looked at him. Well, if I had your vote before, what did I do to lose it? What happened? What have I done to somehow not be able to have you vote for me again? Well, the farmer went on to explain, listen, I don't leave my house very much. I don't leave this field very much because I have to tend to this. But I do read the papers coming out of Washington, and I was quite hurt by the fact that you don't seem to really understand the U.S. Constitution. I saw where the houses had burned in Georgetown, and I saw that you recommended and passed and voted for and passed $20,000 to be given to those people. You had no right to do that. No right at all. Constitution doesn't give you the power. Maybe if you want to give the money for yourself, you can, but you can't do that. You have an incredibly powerful instrument there, which is to take from one and give to another, and you have violated the Constitution. I'm not questioning your heart. I'm questioning your brain. That's the story, apocryphal or not. And then that same congressman, about a year later, was sitting in the House. They were about to vote on another bill, very similar bill. In this particular case, they felt sorry for the widow of a guy that had served in the Navy with many honors. Well, he had served, and then he continued to serve as well in government, and they paid him for it. Well, somebody got up and gave a great big speech about how sad it was that the widow was left behind. And just before the vote was to happen, and it looked like it was definitely going to pass, this man rose up, the same guy that met the guy in the field, and said, Mr. Speaker, as much as I respect the memory of the deceased and as much sympathy for the suffering of the living, if suffering there be, as any man in this House, but we must not permit our respect for the dead and the sympathy for part of the living to lead us into an act of injustice to balance the living. Then he went on to say, we don't owe this guy anything. He worked and we paid him. We worked when you paid him. We don't owe him anything. He basically said, Mr. Speaker, I have said that we have the right to give as much money as we want of our own. I'm the poorest man on this floor. I cannot vote this bill, but I will give 1 week's pay to the object. And if every member of Congress does the same, it will amount to the bill being asked. That man's name was...
Born on a mountaintop in Tennessee, greenest state in the land of the free. Raised in the woods, so he knew every tree. Killed him a bar when he was only 3.
Killed a bear when he was 3.
Crockett,
wow.
King of the wild frontier. Fought single-handed to the engine.
Yeah, Crockett basically said it's not ours to give. Imagine that if they had that same sort of perspective today. Rather than taking from one group and giving to another group, we wouldn't have the gigantic debt that we have. The fact that, would you say, about 40% of the money that is being transferred from one person to another, and then the debt is paid on that, which is about 70% of the total amount of bills that need to be paid, money that needs to be taken from one and given to another. I wish I had Davy Crockett's speech when I was a city council member, and they said, hey, we have a job for you over the weekend if you'd like it. They handed me a great big binder, and in the binder were all sorts of nonprofits that were looking for different grants. And I was flipping through it, and all of a sudden I was like, well, that seems like a good group of people. And, oh, there's Mittens for Kittens. That seems worthy. You know, how about this one? So how am I going to, decide which one we're going to give the money to? And then all of a sudden it hit me. Maybe it was David Crockett. Maybe it was old Davy Crockett. Bring the music back up for old Davy Crockett. Maybe that's...
The Western March had just begun, so he packed his gear and his trusty guns and lit out grinning to follow the sun. Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier.
Okay, take it down. So I was sitting there and I thought, okay, I know what I'm going to do. So I go back in on that Tuesday meeting, this Sammamish City Council, and they said, what is your recommendation? I said, I have a recommendation. I recommend that we do absolutely nothing. I know we gave $150,000 last year, but this is not our money to give. These are all great charities, and if we all want to give to the individual charities, that's fine. But for us to collect the money from everybody there in Sammamish and then decide somehow with our generosity that we should give all this money to these charities when this is not our money to give. And somebody made a motion. They said, I have a motion that we give not 150, but we're a very generous community. We give 200,000. And then somebody seconded it, and then they added another motion that, no, let's give even more money. I think they gave 230,000 that year, even though my motion was no money, none. It's not ours to give. We took the money to fill in potholes and, get dead deers off the roads and take care of the general stuff. But why are we giving to charities? It made no sense. I looked it up to see how much money they gave this year. $680,000.
Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier.
Yeah, let's take the money and give it to someone else. Make ourselves feel better.
He give his word and he give his hand that his Injun friends could keep their land. The rest of his life he took the stand that justice was due every redskin band. Davy,
it's not ours to give. It's not our money. But politicians love taking from one group or a great big group and giving to a smaller group so that they can keep their job. I'm telling you something, it just keeps going. So they're back in 1827 when they were just giving out money to make everybody feel better, and they do it over there in Sammamish, and they do it all over the place. You look at all these people that are elected and given the power to take money from you and then in their heart decide, well, this seems like a really good cause. That's not what's in the U.S. Constitution. I'm sorry, one more time, Mr. Crockett.
Follow the sun, Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier.
Yeah.
His land is biggest and his land is best.
Yeah.
From grassy plains to the mountain crest. He's ahead of us all, meeting the test, following his legend into the west. Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier.
Gong! Oh, wait, here's the rest. Gong! There you go.
I don't think he really killed a bear at 3. That sounds made up.
A burr.
Burr.
Killed a bar at 3. Yeah, that's the story of Davy Crockett. It is not ours to give. His famous speech there. Yep.
Was this the money that you were tasked with distributing? Was that federal grant money?
No. This is the money we had. And I remember one of the council members. We are a very generous city. What? Huh? You're generous with somebody else's money.
This is out of your general budget?
The general budget. We $28 million to run the city or something. And in the budget, they had we gave away $100,000. What would you suggest we give this year? I was like, I got an idea. Give nothing, zero. All the no workhouses, all the no jails.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Certainly they're all sir, but they would die. Then let them die and decrease the surplus population. I didn't say that. But that's not the job of government. What are you just giving money away?
Do the citizens get a chance to vote on whether or not?
No, they vote for the city council. They don't pay attention to that. But think about that. That's more than $500,000. And I'm sure they're all great causes, but that's not the job. That's not your job. Fix the roads, arrest the bad guys, do that stuff. Cut the grass in the park and pick up the poop that people didn't pick up. But just generally, but I'm sure a lot of cities are like, let's give all this money to all these different organizations. What you end up doing is you do the same thing they did in Europe. Because in the 1940s, when they started the giant welfare systems, a lot of the nonprofits just dried up and went away because they're like, why should I bother? Why should I give any money? They already took the money. There's very little giving in the nonprofit world in Europe. Very little. In the United States, it's like $350-some billion or something. 36 billion, I can't remember what the number is. But it's huge. But if the bigger government grows, then it crowds out the nonprofits. What's the total amount they give? It's like
fascinating.
I think it's like $365. So you can pick that one out for me there, Joseph. U.S. donations to nonprofits, charities. I think it's I thought it was like 336 something. What is it?
$592 billion. Much more than $500 billion.
The charities.
Yep.
Yeah, that's individuals.
To nonprofits,
giving. Yeah, there we go. Good. All right, let's check Nate. He's checking traffic. Nathan.
Thanks, John. Seattle Sports has the update. We're seeing all the usual mid-afternoon backups forming. Kirkland, northbound 405, stop-and-go volume starting in Kirkland into Totem Lake. Bellevue to Linwood's going to take it 35 minutes, already about a 10-minute delay. In comparison, Seattle to Linwood, just 25. South 5 heading into Seattle. We're backed up from Lake City Way to I-90. Excuse me. It gets thick there at 520. Linwood to Seattle, less than 20 minutes. North 5, scattered backups from the Michigan Curve across the Ship Canal Bridge, where, of course, 2 left lanes are closed for road work. 35 minutes now to make it through downtown Seattle. And now, westbound 520, you're bumper to bumper from Montlake Boulevard over to I-5. Seattle to Federal Way, plan on 40 minutes. We're slow from Interurban Avenue all the way down to about South 260th and Federal Way before you start to break free. And northbound 405, building volumes from South Center into the Renton S curves. South Center to Bellevue, just under a 25-minute drive. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
You know, as human beings, we value things that last, like local businesses, long-term relationships, people that have been part of the community for years. That also includes Madrona Financial and CPAs. For decades, they've been serving Washingtonians, and they do it differently. They combine taxes and investment under one roof. Most firms don't do something like that. They do taxes, and then they look at investments, not both. And when you do that, you're not properly preparing for retirement when you separate the two. Taxes are often the biggest retirement expense, bigger than travel or even health care. Yet most of the time, if you don't combine them together and look at them, then you've got some big problems. That's where Madrona comes in with a thing called Madrona analysis. It's easy to understand. You review your retirement picture, income, taxes, and investments all working together in one coordinated plan. And best of all, it's conversational. You'll talk with people that'll explain everything to you in plain English. Discover the hidden traps. You see your portfolio matching income needs, and you'll learn steps to retire with confidence. You want to find out more? 833-673-7373. 833-673-7373 for a complimentary Madrona analysis. This would be a really smart move. Madrona Financial and CPAs, local, trusted, and here to put the whole picture together. 833-673-7373.
Since the beginning, 50 years ago, KIRO has been the only place where the 12s have listened to the Seahawks.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks. Steve Rabel made the catch.
And Sunday, the tradition continues.
The Seahawks are going back to the Super Bowl.
When Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman bring you the call of Super Bowl 60 between the Seahawks and the Patriots. And like every other Seahawks game, the only place you'll hear it is KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 3/22/26. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with 0 investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
At Guardian Roofing Gutters and Insulation, we stand by our quality gutters. Whether you need a cleaning or a complete gutter install, we do it all. Call today and get $250 off a gutter installation. And visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Olympic Hot Tub celebrates Seattle's star team with a massive blue and green savings blitz. Champion-level wellness at winning savings on saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges through Sunday. Go to olympichottub.com. Better you, better life. Go Seattle.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. Another state leader says he supports the idea of that millionaire's tax here in Washington. State Superintendent Chris Rakedahl is on board, saying he wants more revenue for public school education.
Rakedahl's proposal includes 2 years of free college tuition to Washington's in-state institutions, free meals for all students, and more money for K-12 education. He also wants $1.4 billion in property tax relief for homeowners.
The purpose of government isn't taxing. That's the function we use to pay for our real purpose, which is understanding who we are, who we want to be, and who we want to become.
But Republicans warn that once this tax mechanism exists, future legislatures could lower the $1 million threshold to reach middle-class taxpayers. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
End of the road for a long list of bills at the state capitol. KIRO News Radio's Manufacturer explains.
The Washington State Standard reports yesterday's committee deadline killed off dozens of proposals. A bill that would have created a 32-hour work week with overtime after that did not get a vote. Neither did a measure to stop police departments from hiring ICE agents who joined the agency after Trump took office.
Proposals to protect kids online also stalled, including one requiring parental consent for minors on social media. Shares of Amazon are down 10% in after-hours trading today after the company's profits came in slightly below analyst expectations for Q4. Investors did not seem to like this announcement from CEO Andy Jassy during the earnings call.
We expect to invest about $200 billion in capital expenditures across Amazon.
That is up from $125 billion last year as the company looks to invest more in artificial intelligence. If you live on Anderson Island in Pierce County, getting groceries just got a lot harder, as we hear from KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery.
The island's only general store and gas station closed Tuesday after nearly 50 years. The News Tribune reports the shop couldn't make enough money to stay open. Now the island's 1,500 residents will have to catch the ferry to Steelecombe for basics like gas and food. And residents say that ferry is already too expensive and doesn't run often enough. The island's population has jumped 64% since 2015. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk. Check in with Nate Connors.
This report brought to us by by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. No surprises across the region this afternoon. Kirkland, or on the east side rather, North 405 slows from Bellevue through Kirkland into Totem Lake. Bellevue to Linwood is a 35-minute commute, about a 10-minute delay this afternoon. Seattle to Linwood, just 25 minutes with minor crowding developing between Northgate and Linwood. South 5 heading into Seattle, you're going to start to slow about 85th now. This backup continues Hughes to I-90 gets real thick there at 520. Linwood to Seattle still right around 20 minutes. North 5, we've got scattered backups starting in the Michigan Curve across the Ship Canal Bridge, about 35 minutes to make it through downtown Seattle. And this has westbound 520 jammed up at Montlake Boulevard. Seattle to Federal Way is going to take you 40 minutes. You're slow from Interurban Avenue all the way to South 260th heading into Federal Way. Bellevue to Renton is at 25 minutes. It's bumper to bumper between Southeast 8th and Cold Creek Parkway. And Tacoma to Olympia, we're looking pretty good right now at 35 minutes. It's home show season, and Lake Washington Windows and Doors is giving you 20% off, plus 12 months, same as cash financing. Visit them at the home shows or lakewashingtonwindows.com. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Got a nice mix of clouds and sunshine this afternoon. Pleasant temperatures in the mid-50s today. Tomorrow could reach 60. Right now, 55 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Home Comfort Alliance. Heating. Cooling. Plumbing. Whoops.
What else?
Electric. That's how I describe you, Joe. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. You like Home Comfort Alliance. HomeComfortAlliance.com. By the way, we have our jersey here. Official Steve Largent. That's the real deal there. That's the old school. Huh? Steve Largent jersey. You see that, huh?
Yeah.
Signed by Steve himself.
She's a beaut, Clark.
Yeah, I bought that in an auction. I don't know what I paid. But we're going to give it away.
Oh, my.
How about the hat? Should we give the hat away?
Yes, absolutely. We should bundle them.
We put them both away. For those of you watching on YouTube, I'll show you an imitation of my father used to wear hats. And I used to say, Dad, you should pull it down. You look a little cooler. Like you used to wear them like that, like really high, like way up there. Like, Dad, just pull it. If you pull, you just put your hand on the top and just push.
Heard it. Move on.
Because it seems like it's like not on your head, but like on a table.
Kind of floating.
Yes. Give the hat away too. Now, this is Rye. I got this for Rye. But I think he thinks it's too bandwagon-y.
He doesn't like it?
You know what's also nice about the Steve Largent jersey? I'm going to sign it as well. Thank you. Wherever that sound was, that was the plumbing part of Home Comfort Alliance right there. This day in history, here we go. Where's my scripture? I got to stop throwing my papers.
Yes,
I've
please.
lost like 2 of my stories. Boy, it seems like just yesterday that the Punic Wars were happening between Roman and Carthage.
3 of them.
I know. Back in 146 BC. 1777, Georgia's constitution is abolishing, I didn't even look it up.
Primogeniture?
Yes?
An entail.
Yeah, it's a form of...
inheritance.
Thank you, Joe.
Yep.
William Burroughs was born in 1914. Read The Naked Lunch.
I've read little excerpts.
Yeah, some gross stuff in there.
Very
but
dark.
Very dark. 1917, the Immigration Act is passed by Woodrow Wilson. Or no, it's vetoed by Woodrow Wilson. Yeah, he didn't want those people coming in. 1937, FDR announces the court packing. Here's what happened. So he wins in a landslide. He's got a whole bunch of stuff he wants to get done. And the court's like, yeah, I don't think you could. Really the National Recovery Act? And you want to do AAA? All these different little programs you want to sort of set up. And they're like, yeah, not so fast. So then he comes up with this idea that his plan was that the president appoint a justice for every incumbent justice over the age of 70 who fails to retire up to the number of 6. Get all that? So he wanted all the old guys out. He wanted to put young people in. Because he knew how old everybody was. He's like, oh, you're going to go, you're going to go, you're going to go. They'll all go through. And people are like, whoa, even though FDR, we love you, and other people hated him. They're like, this is ridiculous. This is a stretch. So right near the end, after this was sort of floated, a bunch of justices that were liberal, all of a sudden, or conservative, started switching over. Like, I don't want to get thrown out. So then the term, a switch in time, saved. How many justices are on the court?
12?
It rhymes with...
9.
9. So a stitch in time saves...
9.
9. There you go. It's all going to be on the test.
Oh, my.
Okay. And then the Colin Powell held in great regard for such a long time. But, man, this speech that he gave at the UN, did they lie to him? Did they give him bad stuff? And they said, hey... Colonel, just go out there and just read from the script.
Every statement I make today is backed up by sources, solid sources. These are not assertions. What we're giving you are facts and conclusions based on solid intelligence. What you will see is an accumulation of facts and disturbing patterns of behavior. The facts in Iraq's behavior demonstrate that Saddam Hussein and his regime have made no effort to disarm as required by the international community. Indeed, the facts and Iraq's behavior show that Saddam Hussein and his regime are concealing their efforts to produce more weapons of mass destruction.
Oof. Here's what's happened, folks. I'll just tell you. Joe has become the most cynical human being I know. You still have joy in your heart.
Of course.
And some Snickers bars in your stomach, but you have all faith in everything. The bottom has dropped out.
Pretty
you
much.
are just so into the Epstein stuff. You gotta Voltaire. You gotta mind your own garden. You're going into a weird headspace. And you're dragging the rest of us down.
Hey, listen, I'm minding my own garden, but we have to talk about this stuff all day. So I look at everything through a different lens.
Okay.
Heat waves.
Yeah, it's sad.
There's a lot of, by the way, a lot of Iraq and 9/11 stuff in there too. If you're curious.
God, now the buildings didn't fall on their own.
I don't know.
Building
about
number
that.
7.
I don't know about that. But I mean, look at how quickly we forget
Folks,
about
this
something.
This is where I live with now. Do you understand? Like, it's really happening. So I come in the morning, right, and we sit down, and I look over at him. He's not the same person he was, because after the 3 million files dropped on Friday, Joe has been going through them slowly but surely, reading, and then he comes in the morning, and he's like, "You see that story about, what?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. It's just more evidence. More evidence." God.
Keep your blinders on, man.
Oh, I'm not. Well, no. Believe me, I've always said, you and I have had these conversations before, that there is a deep state, and they will tell you they don't care who's in office.
No,
right?
Doesn't matter.
They don't care because, okay, we'll just control this or that. We'll make this or that move. Somebody comes in there, we're gonna get something done. Probably not.
Plenty of contingency plans.
Yeah. So, we told the story in the remaining 1 minute. The U.S. wanted to go to war in Cuba, and because they didn't want Russia to be right there. So they said, okay, how can we get enough Americans to sort of become, rallied up? We need them bloodthirsty, that we decided we're going into Cuba because we got to get the Russians out. So how do we do it? So they came up with this plan. I think it was the name of Bluebird or whatever it was, and they present it to the president, to Kennedy, and they say, okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into certain cities and we're going to set off explosions.
Operation Northwoods.
Northwoods, yes. And some explosions. There may be some wounded, but we're going to blow this stuff up, and then we're going to make it look like it was Cuba and Russia combined attacking the United States. And then we're going to also sink a ship. We'll sink a couple of ships, and we'll blame it on Russia and Cuba, and then we'll be able to go in there. So I think like 3 or 4 explosions, cities on the East Coast.
If you dead, it'll be all right.
And JFK's like, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. We will not do that. And at that point, I'm sure the generals were like,
how did it end for JFK?
He's not with us.
And then you got the old weapons of mass destruction. I mean,
okay, all right. See, this
is
my life now. This is what I live with.
Keep blinders on, man.
All right. First time caller line west of the Mississippi. All right, let's do this. Let's check Nate is checking traffic. Now, do you trust traffic? Do you trust Nate?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's build from there. All right, here we go. Nathan.
Yes, sir. Subaru of Puyallup has the update. Let's start you down in DuPont. We've got a big crash at South 5 at Center Drive. It's a rollover, and it's got 3 of your 4 lanes blocked. Only the right center lane is open, and you're in about a 4-mile solid backup starting prior to the JBLM main gate. Tacoma to Olympia has spiked to a 1-hour commute. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, we're at 40 minutes. Seattle to Federal Way, 35 minutes. North 405 is now solid from Kirkland into Canyon Park, and you're bumper to bumper through Kirkland. Bellevue to Linwood, a 40-minute drive. South 5 into Seattle, your backup starts at about 85th, goes down to I-90, gets really thick there at 520. Linwood to Seattle will take you 20 minutes. And North 5, we're dealing with scattered backups from the Michigan Curve across the Ship Canal Bridge. It's 35 minutes already to make it through just downtown Seattle. And, of course, this backup has westbound 520 jammed up at Montlake Boulevard. It's about the people at Subaru of Puyallup, friendly, knowledgeable experts who listen, and continues with stress-free pricing and transparency throughout ownership. Subaru of Puyallup.com, your stress-free dealership. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I'm telling you, I know what it's like. You watch the hair begin to thin, the crown disappears, and that hair loss just starts to kind of rob you of your identity. That is exactly how I felt before I visited Advanced Hair. It was like 14 or 15 years ago. You see, Advanced Hair has got a simple one-day treatment. They regrew my own natural hair. They do the exact same thing for you. I was noticing my hair is starting to thin in the front. I would say, Shelly, who's cutting my hair, I was like, what do you think, Shelly? She goes, it's going kind of bald in the back as well. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go bald. She goes, well, it looks like a couple of years from now. I said, wait, am I going to fix this now? So do what I did. You set up a free consultation. Get $250 off, 250 free hair grafts. You just call them at 425-449-8185. You don't want to wait because your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. That is the second year in a row. You should also check out the before and after pictures at Advanced Hair, and you'll see there they are there, and now they are there. And you say, that's it. That's what I want to be. I want my hair back. 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185.
We are going to the Super Bowl! And the home of the Seahawks, KIRO News Radio, is there.
Can you believe it?
All week long, G. Scott broadcasts live from Radio Row in San Francisco during the G and Ursula Show. Weekdays, 9 to noon.
It is a circus like you have never seen.
And Luke Ducey will be on the ground.
I am on the lookout for everything 12s.
From the only station where you hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, KIRO News Radio.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there. It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, let's throw a party this year for the big game.
Oh, great idea. But first, we should get a new TV. One of the top-rated brands. Samsung, LG, or Sony.
Okay, I'll start shopping on the internet and then head over to the Warehouse Club.
Well, but if that's all we do, we'll be sorry.
Why?
Because the best deals on those top-rated TVs are at video only. Not online or at the club.
Video only?
Yep. We can save up to $500 if we shop smart.
Or we'll be sorry.
Thank you, Dr. Wagner. I have a really bad left hip. In fact, this other doctor's like, well, they're going to have to get a hip replacement. I was like, oh my God. He goes, how old are you? I told him, well, you're going to have to wait a couple of years because we don't want you to wear the hip out. We want you and the hip to both go to heaven together. I was like, well, in the meantime, well, try stretching, aspirin. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm in pain. I can't sleep. I could barely walk. I'd get off a plane and I'm like struggling to even make it down the ramp. I go to see Dr. Wagner. He explains to me how the stem cell procedure works. It's 90 minutes, and I'm telling you right now, I love it. So rather than surgery, make an appointment to see Dr. Wagner. It could be the game changer for you, like it's been for a whole bunch of other people as well. So whether it's your hip or your wrist or your shoulder, your knee, check out Dr. Mark Wagner. I'm telling you right now, stem cell procedure could be the answer for you, as it's been for me. You want to find out more? drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Let's talk about hockey. Don't you love a sport where it's almost fair game to throw off your gloves and bare knuckle it in that gray area? Hockey brings excitement, intensity, passion, often drinking. It's like a party with a puck. If you enjoy too many shots at the bar while watching slap shots on the ice, don't try to make a breakaway because the police won't just stonewall your goal. They're much more likely to throw you in that penalty box. And it won't be just a few minutes to think about what you did. Go ahead, enjoy cracking one open. Just don't overdo it. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com for your free private consultation. Hockey is one of the only sports where you can wrap around the goal and there's no out of bounds. But the roadway is a different story. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY! Three-time Grammy winner, MacArthur Fellow, a voice the Associated Press calls a marvel. Cecile McLaurin-Salvant brings jazz, blues, and fearless originality to Dimitro's Jazz Alley, February 12th through 15th. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice. DayandNight.net. Save $1,700 when you have Day and Night match your current furnace with a qualifying AC or heat pump.
Your furnace is lonely all by itself, but it doesn't have to be. With our Matchmaker Special, we'll match your furnace with a perfect air conditioner or heat pump to keep your furnace company and your home comfy all year round.
Match your furnace to a qualifying cooling system and save $1,700.
DayandNight.net. I guess this is the first bit of controversy, and this is a good one for people that are into this type of genital injections. So the ski jumpers come down at about 60 miles an hour. The ramp where they take off from is sort of pointed down a little bit. That allows them to lift up and be no more than 10 to 15 feet above the ground. The whole thing is about not having any draft. You want to just be as aerodynamic as possible and not have wind catching in anything, right? So there was a German guys had some helmets, and they said, oh, the way the helmets are designed, that's not fair. They got rid of that. So somebody came up with this, whoever came up with this, brilliant, mad scientist. Then who's there? I've got an idea. Are they Germans? Who's doing this? Is like a German thing.
These guys were, I believe they were Dutch. Let me just double check. Hang on.
Yeah. So the guy's like, I have an idea. If we do this, it will produce. It'll cut down on drag. I just need. I got this syringe here. I need just to inject it into your genitalia there, and then it's going to be good. So who's going to volunteer? Who wants to win? Who's volunteer? Well, apparently a number of them did, and it made that area of their body stick out a little bit more, which then allowed the air to push past their legs, and they jumped further.
So you get a little extra distance, and you get more aerodynamic.
That's the way it goes. Here we go.
Last year, some Norwegian ski jumpers and coaches were banned because they were found to have manipulated the crotch area of their costumes. There have been reports in the German press and in America that ski jumpers are now thinking about enlarging their genital areas by injecting hyaluronic acid. Again, the idea is it improves the dynamics and allows ski jumpers to go further. I have two questions. One, has WADA heard of such a method? Is this pure nonsense from Build and secondly, surely,
was it mentioned in the Epstein file?
Message to such athletes, because surely it would be banned under the WADA code. Because it poses a health risk and it would violate the spirit of sport.
Any takers for that?
I'm not aware of the details of ski jumping and how this can improve, but if anything was to come to the surface, we would look at anything if it is actually doping related. We don't do other means of enhancing performance, but our list committee would certainly look into whether this would fall in this category. But
I don't know.
I haven't heard about that until you mentioned it.
Ski jumping is very popular in Poland, so I promise you I'm going to look at it.
Yeah, it's not
a performance enhancing drug. It's like a body modification.
It's not affecting
But the first question, in his first of those two questions,
Yes.
he mentioned that the Norwegian skiers had done this fancy stitching on their suits that they wear, their kind of onesie, and they got suspended for that. So they do suspend people for
Right. They also the helmet came out of Germany as well.
Right.
How far they go? About 300 feet. So that's they take off and they fly. Imagine flying across an entire football field. 15 feet above the football field, all the way down. And the record is, I think, 280 some yards. So 2 football fields, but that wasn't in the Olympics. When you go and watch it, I watch it.
Wait, ski jumping isn't not this year?
No. The world record was
gotcha.
not at an Olympic event. When you go and you watch it, because you think, when you look at it on television, they're like 500 feet in the air.
Soaring.
It's just like, there they go. I mean, it's still pretty amazing. You're like, wow, look at that guy. Woo. Look at his crotch. So they give you. No, never mind. Never mind.
Don't try.
Edit.
Don't get any ideas.
Edit. Okay, here comes Nate Checker driving it on.
This one's brought to us by Subaru of Puyallup, DuPont, South 5 and Center Drive. We've got this rollover crash. It's blocking 3 of your 4 lanes. Just that right center lane is getting through. And we're close to a 4-mile bumper-to-bumper backup. Starting prior to the JBLM main gate, Tacoma to Olympia is over an hour now, about an hour, 5-minute commute. Now, North 5, as you can imagine, we've got a looky-loo backup forming at the scene. It isn't too bad right now. Got a new crash through Factoria, South 405 at Cold Creek Parkway, blocking the right lane. You're backed up to 520. Bellevue to Renton is up to a half hour. But once you get through this backup, it's wide open all the way down into Tukwila. North 405 in the south end is packed through the Renton S-curves. In the north end, North 405, we're solid from Bellevue into Canyon Park. Bellevue to Linwood's a 40-minute commute. Seattle to Linwood is up to a half hour. And North 5 heading into downtown. Scattered backups approaching the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal Bridge. About a half hour to clear these backups. And now westbound 520 jams up at the Arboretum. It's about the people at Subaru of Puyallup, friendly, knowledgeable experts who listen, and continues with stress-free pricing and transparency throughout ownership. Subaru of Puyallup.com, your stress-free dealership. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
A lot has changed in 50 years. The Seattle skyline, how we interact with one another, and a new way to hear the Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Download the KIRO Newsradio app, where you can listen to Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman call the Super Bowl for free.
That is music to the ears.
It's the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60. Kickoff Sunday at 3:30 on the only station the Seahawks have called home for 50 years. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
You know the one question that guys hate to have asked of them by their wives, Nick?
I can take a good guess.
I know you know 100 of them. This is the worst one. Do these jeans make my butt look big?
Whoa.
Can't answer that one, right? What I've noticed is whenever you ask me questions like that, I just simply say, oh, I don't know. What did the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic say?
Well, the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic would tell me that my butt looks great in those jeans now that my hormones are balanced.
What'd they do? Did they give you something to bring your weight down?
No, just a result of having my hormones balanced caused me to lose weight. Who would have known? I had no idea that would be a result of it.
So that's good. So the answer is you look great. You're beautiful.
I feel great. I look great.
Yeah.
And I know it.
I've also noticed that your testosterone makes you a little feistier than you normally are, as my beautiful Greek wife.
I might be small, but I have a loud bark.
Yes, you do. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start,
an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 3/22/26. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all 3 like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple 1-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
Staples has hot deals and low prices on everything for your business, like up to $125 off your print order. Ends 4/18. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
3 more days until Super Bowl 60. The only station where you hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. No suspects have been identified 5 days after Nancy Guthrie was reported missing. 2 law enforcement sources tell CBS News the FBI team on the ground in Tucson includes personnel from the FBI Evidence Recovery, intelligence analysts combing through social media postings, hostage negotiating teams from the FBI in Quantico, Virginia, and victim specialty teams. Blood found on Guthrie's porch is hers, and they're awaiting more results. CBS's Andres Gutierrez in Tucson also reports.
They did emphasize that there has been no proof of life and there has been no follow-up communication since they went public. The FBI has also confirmed they did arrest someone connected to a false ransom demand, and they are warning that anyone who is trying to take advantage of the situation, trying to scam the Guthrie family, will be investigated.
However, another ransom note, according to the FBI, mentioned a late afternoon deadline today for a monetary transfer. The U.S. and Russia agree to reestablish high-level military-to-military dialogue for the first time in more than 4 years. Former CBS Moscow Bureau Chief Beth Noble.
The U.S. military says the aim of reopening the channel now is to avoid miscalculation and escalation by either side. This seems to me like another step by the Trump administration to try to create better relations with Russia.
The eastern part of the country has more winter weather in store. CBS News meteorologist Nikki Nolan with the info on a Clipper system on the move.
Upwards of 25 to 35 mile per hour winds are expected, with some gusts reaching upwards of 65 miles per hour. That is tropical storm force wind gusts. Extreme cold alerts are in effect through Sunday afternoon, including major cities like Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, and New York City.
Americans feel that it's harder for this generation to get ahead when it comes to making money. That according to a new CBS poll. CBS's Anthony Salvanto.
The disparity between what they see as wealthy people and the middle class, majority saying they think increasing opportunities for the wealthy, but a slight majority say decreasing opportunities for the middle class. That's what those numbers translate to.
A Patriots fan literally gave his blood to attend Sunday's Super Bowl. CBS's Michael Wallace explains.
Eric Jellison of Wakefield, Massachusetts was skeptical when he got the call that he was randomly selected from a nationwide pool of blood donors to win a trip for two to the game.
With all the scams and things going on in the world, you don't know what to believe.
Kelly Eisner is with the American Red Cross of Massachusetts.
For Eric to win this amazing prize for doing something that was so selfless, we love to be a part of that.
Jellison says he won't believe it until he gets to the Super Bowl.
And I'm just going to be in awe of the whole event.
This is
Follow and listen to CBS News Roundup on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up, Washington's governor meets with the NBA commissioner. That's one story we get to after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
All right, it's getting busy out there, Aaron. This report brought to us by Seattle Sports. Let's update you with our big crash down in DuPont, South 5 at Center Drive. We just cleared that rollover collision to the Center Drive off-ramp, so this opens up the freeway, but obviously you can't take the exit ramp. About 4-mile bumper-to-bumper backup starting prior to the JBLM main gate. Tacoma to Olympia right now is an hour, 15-minute drive. And then North 5, we've got a brief looky-loo backup at the scene. In Factoria, we still have our collision South 405 at Cold Creek Parkway. It's in your right lane. You're backed up to 520. Bellevue to Renton is up just a bit to 35 minutes. Again, once you get through this backup, you're all clear all the way down into Tukwila. North 5 in the south end is packed through the Renton S-curves. As far as I can tell, this is just volume. In the north end, North 405, we're solid starting in Bellevue all the way into Canyon Park, and you're just barely moving through Kirkland right now. Bellevue to Linwood plan on 40 minutes. Seattle to Linwood in comparison is just a half hour. We do have building volumes from Northgate into Linwood. And then North 5 in the downtown, scattered backups from the Michigan Curve across the Ship Canal Bridge. It's 35 minutes to make it through downtown Seattle. And now westbound 520, you're going to jam up at the west end of the Lake Bridge. Otherwise, our Lake Bridges are looking good. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial, 97.3 HD2. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. A student-led protest today against ICE took to the streets of downtown Seattle this afternoon.
Unity and community is the most important thing in a time like this to show that we're all together and that we can lean on each other.
As many as 2,000 students from high schools all over King County converged on downtown to protest immigration enforcement. They did block traffic at some key intersections for a few hours, but overall stayed peaceful. One of the architects of the millionaire tax proposal is refuting this claim.
Very much, in my view, an attack on small and medium-sized businesses that are going to damage our economy.
That was Republican Senate Leader John Braun earlier this week. Today on the Jake and Spike Show, Senate Majority Leader Jamie Peterson said the tax would in fact help businesses.
We're going to have to keep going back to the business community to fund the state budget unless we become more like 41 other states and have the ability to tax some income.
Republicans fear that eventually middle-class people in our state will also face an income tax if this passes. An ankle injury will not keep Nick Emanwori out of the Super Bowl. The Seahawks rookie safety says he's feeling fine after rolling his ankle in practice yesterday.
Yeah, super relief. Doc told me I'd be good. Just super young, healthy. I'll be good. I'll be good to go.
Coaches fully expect him to play Sunday. Meantime, the biggest tailgating party is hitting the road. The so-called Beast Bus is heading to the Super Bowl to support the Seahawks. KIRO 7 TV's Allison Amoye reports.
The Beast Bus is a 1984 London double-decker. The last time it made a road trip like this was in 2015.
Yes, we took it to Arizona for that Super Bowl, but we lost. So this is redemption for the bus as well.
Organizer Justin Smith gave us a tour of the bus.
This is the bar area. You walk up and get your refreshments.
Inside is filled with signed memorabilia, a replica Lombardi trophy, and even original seats from the Kingdom. But the Beast Bus is far more than just a party bus. Money from admission and food and drinks go to various charities.
Governor Bob Ferguson met virtually today with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. The meeting was a late addition to his calendar. His office says it was an introductory conversation requested by Ferguson. Officials say the governor grew up rooting for the Sonics and offered to be helpful during any future talks of bringing the NBA back to Seattle. Now to your weather updates. We are staying dry today, but again for tomorrow, partly cloudy right now, and highs in the mid-50s. Right now, 55 in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show. Thank you.
You are fake news. You are a rude, terrible person. Am I happy? No. Take it nice and easy.
Okay. Was that directed to KIRO 97.3? I know because he said nice things about us as well.
And I think it was directed towards you.
Okay. Oh, fake news. All right. It's the news, and then they pay me for my opinion about the news, which caused my father to laugh so hard he coughed a lot. Then he stopped coughing and continued to laugh. My brother does an imitation of it. It's very funny. Diving into the So the president signals a shift in deportations. The feds will enter sanctuary cities only if the mayors ask. Well, the mayors are not going to ask. Where is he talking about this? Where is he? Right? The first one?
Yep.
Here we go. So remember, the main thing he talked about, the entire thing out on the campaign trail, was the invasion into this country. The numbers fluctuated from 10 million to 12 million to 20 million, whatever it was. And the people were going to give a choice between the two. They said, I'm going to go with Trump. I like this idea of enforcing these laws. That was one of the big votes, right? So it was that, plus the other ad that they ran just right up to the time of election, which was Kamala Harris. She is for they and them. He is for you. Make Kamala Harris and all the left seem just kooky. And that helped, but then also the deportation stuff. So that's why he got elected. And now
it sounds like there is a shift in immigration enforcement here, that there's going to be a shift after Minneapolis. What should Americans expect going forward?
Well, one thing I say to my people, we do a good job. We don't get credit for it. I say they have to ask and they have to say please. When a city is going,
who has to ask and who has to say please?
The mayor or the governor. I don't want to go and force ourselves into a city, even if their numbers are terrible. Like, for instance, I got a call from Jeff Landry, governor of Louisiana. He said, we have a big problem. Could you go in and help us with let's see, certain sections. I mean, to be honest with you, certain sections of the state, beyond their famous, beautiful city, certain sections of the state. We have done, not only in New Orleans, we've done a really great job in Louisiana, but I was called. I want to be called. Chicago, we could solve the Chicago crime.
Well, on that question, which cities are you headed to next?
We have 5 cities that we're looking at very strongly, but we want to be invited. We will sometimes call the governors. And
are these cities like Chicago, Philadelphia? Are these the cities?
We could straighten out the crime in Chicago. We've already brought it down 25% just by being there. We could have Chicago be a safe city, just like D.C. is a safe city, just like all of these places that we've gone to. And I look forward. I didn't campaign on that. Yeah. I campaigned on law and order, but I didn't think I'd be going into individual cities and making them safe.
Anything else you can tell us about the 5 cities? The 5 cities, anything else? So Americans are ready?
We'll be announcing them very quickly, but we could do something. As an example, I was called by people. San Francisco said, please.
Now, San Francisco has made a paradigm shift, and they are now law and order. They're no more homeless on the streets. We're not giving out drugs to people. We're going to start enforcing the laws. The people there in San Francisco got so fed up with it, they voted for all of that stuff. So San Francisco has changed.
We have a Democrat mayor. He's trying very hard. Would you, friends of mine that live there, it's got crime problems. Would you let him do the job and not come in? Let's see how it works.
Okay. So his poll ratings have dropped, what is it?
29% today.
They fell 29?
No, they fell to 29%.
Yeah, so he was hovering at about 35, somewhere in there, depending what the poll is. So it's cratering. And Trump has a problem because now what happens is the people that voted for him are like, what? This goes back to when it was during the national. Who was it? Oh, it was. So George Bush Sr., 1988, running around, right? He's campaigning. He gets the nomination there in New Orleans, and he makes his big speech, and his big thing is, read my lips, no new taxes. He ends up winning. He wipes out Michael Dukakis, who was a terrible candidate, and he ends up winning 426 electoral college votes. No one has ever done that before. It was the most amount ever, right? Wipes him out. Then 1990 rolls around. He gets in there with Congress, and he's going back and forth, and, well, we can't, blah, blah, blah. So what's he do? He raises taxes. What's he do next? He loses. Now, of course, he loses, and Perot's in there. But people are like, wait a minute. You said you weren't going to raise taxes. You raised taxes. So with Trump, the people that voted for him, that wanted the laws to be enforced and liked the idea of deportation, they now will be split. Where are they going to go? I've got a friend of mine, big supporter of Donald Trump, and he's like, he wrote me on Sunday, just sort of lost. Not only the Epstein files really bothered him, but a bunch of other stuff. So when you all of a sudden go back on one of these promises that you said you were going to keep, and that's what you campaigned on, they don't know where to look.
There's a bunch of these too. Remember he said he was going to give $2,000 checks to so he made that promise, and the same guy, Tony Lamas, asked him about it in the interview, and he said, well, you promised you're going to give out these $2,000 checks because of the tariffs, the revenue they've generated. He said, well, we haven't committed to that yet. He said, but you said you promised. He said, I can say I promised, but that doesn't mean I'm committed.
See, that's the problem. Same thing happened to him during all the Black Lives Matter stuff. His poll rating went from 49 to 39 because what happened was the media was doing a good job of telling everybody that America was racist. Then he made it a moral issue, right? Saying things like, well, this is a moral failure. This is not who America is. You take a racist individual and then you create a racist society, and then you have everybody marching around. And we had to wear a mask if we wanted to go to church or couldn't go to church, but you could march around in the streets with a bunch of other people. And the media and others that supported this pushed hard because they knew, hey, we can use this to, really screw Trump. And it ended up, wiping him out. So they do the same thing now. Whenever they use particular words, when they described ICE, it's ICE snatched. Agents stormed. The words that they use are really important. Kidnapping, family terrorized, right? And immigration enforcement becomes, something like state terror. So it's worked. And now the majority of people are like, well, we don't think this deportation stuff is right. So there you go. You're going to create what is this bias that gets in there. And then people, once they're aware of the bias, or once they're aware of something, then they're more likely to see it. It's called available bias. Same thing that happens if you want to go buy a car. You want to buy, a Toyota Celica or something. I want to buy a red Toyota Celica. You think about buying it, and all of a sudden you start noticing, wow, look at that guy's got a red Toyota. That guy, look at all the people with red Toyota Celicas. Geez, there's a lot of people, because now you have confirmation bias, but you also have a thing called availability bias, which is if you tell people that it's happening over and over and over and over and over again, then they see it over and over and over and over again. So they're doing a good job. So he's dropped 29 points.
He's dropped to 29% approval rating.
Jeez. Man, that's bad. He sees that. His people tell him, man, you're losing the bully pulpit on this. You got to soften up. So now he's softening up, and then see what happens for the people that voted for him. Then, where do they go? But he did talk about the sonic weapons that were used there in Venezuela.
You talked about the weapon, the discombobulator. What is
discombobulator? Well, I'm not allowed to talk about it. But
what does it do?
Let me just tell you.
I'm not allowed to talk about it.
You know what it does? None of their equipment works. That's what it does. Everything it was my name. I'm very proud of the name. Everything was discombobulated. It was, practically a shot wasn't, they were ready.
Right.
And when we came, they couldn't do anything.
You saw this on the video. You could tell.
Tom, it discombobulated everything.
Blood came out of your nose. You fell on the ground with seizures and stuff. We still don't know how it worked.
No, we don't. Apparently no weapons would work.
Nothing worked, even including humans.
Well, let's put it this way.
Out.
We lost no equipment in a very strong, and they're good fighters, great fighters. In a very bad environment, it was a military base, the biggest in South America. Because the house was in a base in South, in a very, very tough environment, we lost no men and we lost no equipment.
The discombobulator just knocked everything.
Well, it did something.
That's all he's always saying. And then also, remember when Trump met with Mondani and said, yeah, I like this guy. We got a lot in common. People are like, what? Right? Same sort of thing happens here. He talks about Bill Clinton.
You look at Bill Clinton, far worse, minor words, and his was action. His was what he's done to women. There's never been anybody in the history of politics in this nation that's been so abusive to women. So...
Is this the National Prayer Breakfast he's saying all
No,
this?
this is in 2016.
Oh, right,
you
right.
can say any way you want to say it, but Bill Clinton was abusive to women. Hillary Clinton attacked those same women and attacked them viciously. 4 of them are here tonight. Don't tell me about words. I apologize for those words, but it is things that people say.
Remember that? He had the 4 women sit right down front. That way the media couldn't ignore and he could point to them all the time. So he's at the National Prayer Breakfast and Trump...
the clip he's talking about, Bill today, is the one right above it.
Oh, yeah. So now here's the president talking about Bill Clinton now.
You know, they asked me a question yesterday at the press conference about Clinton.
By the way, Joe's like, further evidence. Okay.
Because of the testimony. The Epstein thing, which turned out that I have nothing to do, and they did, about Epstein. And they said, do you think it's terrible, with the subpoenas and everything, and they're disobeying the subpoenas? And I actually said, it's a shame. You have an ex-president, and you have, the president's wife and Secretary of State. It is a shame.
NBC News broke the story today. I don't know if you saw it, that the Democrats are already saying, if you bring President Bill Clinton and he has to testify, we're bringing President Trump. What do you say to that?
I think they might say that, but they've already brought me many, many times.
Anything out there that Americans are going to be surprised about that you're going? Yeah,
I'll tell you, they shouldn't do it. And that's one of the things. I didn't do it for that reason, but it bothers me that somebody's going after Bill Clinton. See, I like Bill Clinton. I still like Bill Clinton.
What do you like about him?
I liked his behavior toward me. I thought he got me. He understood me. He was the one that said very famously that you don't want to run against Trump.
So you think that's further evidence of him sort of circling the wagons and giving Bill Clinton some cover, hoping that Clinton doesn't say anything about him?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, Joe. When you get so cynical...
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Right. And then last, by the way, people are going to text in 1-888-973-5476, Muckleshoot Resort text line. I didn't vote for him. Okay, I don't like either one of the parties. Libertarian, we had him on.
Chase Oliver.
Chase Oliver, he came on. I even had a T-shirt that I wrote his name on.
That's all right.
And 406,000 votes, 261, whatever. That's 61. That was me in there, right? Didn't quite make it.
No.
So, you're a Trumper. No, look, I'm playing cuts from what the President of the United States said. The guy won. So here we go. This is what he's saying. Here he's at the National Prayer Breakfast. He's talking about Tom Massey. You don't like Massey anymore. Representative Massey, who's basically called for, look, the Senate has voted for, the House threw it through, the Senate voted. I think possibly everybody voted for it. Give us all of the Epstein stuff. And Massey's been the one push on all this.
An automatic no. No matter what. If we did welfare reform, if we did the greatest thing in history for religion, no matter what we did, no matter how good it is, greatest tax cuts, and we just did the greatest tax cuts in history, he voted against. He voted.
But he votes like 97% of the time.
91%.
No matter what we do, this moron, no matter what it is, we could put them all together. I think, Mike, what would you say the top 5 things? Name them. We'll put them in one bill, and we'll put them before we'll get 100% vote, except for this guy named Thomas Massey. There's something wrong with him. We call him Rand Paul Jr. It's like they just vote no. They love voting no. They think it's good politically. The guy's polling at about 9%. It's not good.
Okay. Remember the famous moment LBJ said, when I've lost Walter Cronkite, I've lost the war? That's what happens, right? The media has the ability to sway the public by using particular words to make the public feel something, whether it's based in facts or not, right? They did it during Black Lives Matter. All of America's racist. They're doing it now with the words that they're using for this ICE stuff. Yes. Are they too aggressive in some cases? Sure they are. Are some guys out there looking for fights? Yes, they are. But he has lost. He's lost. Well, he's never had the media, but now he's lost the public on this, and this is what you get. So now he's getting soft, going the other way on this. If he were a ski jumper, he would not have any advantages. Put it that way. Here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
All righty. This report brought to us by Home Comfort Alliance in DuPont, South 5 at Center Drive. Our long-term collision now blocks the right lane again at Center Drive, as well as that off-ramp. We got about a 6-mile solid backup starting near Gravely Lake Drive. Tacoma to Olympia is going to take you an hour. There is no longer a backup northbound through this crash scene. Renton to Puyallup, we're at 45 minutes. In Factoria, South 405 at Cold Creek Parkway, still looking at a collision blocking the right lane. It might be moved over there to the right shoulder. It's hard to tell from this camera angle. At any rate, you're still backed up to 520. Bellevue to Renton, 25 minutes. North 405 in the south end is packed from South Center through the S-curve. South Center to Bellevue is at 25 minutes. Further up on 405, North 405 is solid from Bellevue into Canyon Park, and Bellevue to Linwood, a 40-minute drive. Seattle to Linwood, still about a half hour. South 5 slows from coming out of Northgate into downtown. It turns into bumper-to-bumper volumes near 520. North 5 scattered. Backups approaching the West Seattle Bridge across the Ship Canal. About 35 minutes to make it through downtown Seattle. For nearly 50 years, 90,000 homeowners have trusted Home Comfort Alliance. And right now, save up to $2,000 on new heating and cooling systems. Call the Comfort People, homecomfortalliance.com. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Since the beginning, 50 years ago, KIRO has been the only place where the 12s have listened to the Seahawks.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks. Steve Rabel made the catch.
And Sunday, the tradition continues.
The Seahawks are going back to the Super Bowl.
When Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman bring you the call of Super Bowl 60 between the Seahawks and the Patriots. And like every other Seahawks game, the only place you'll hear it is KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perongo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Olympic Hot Tubs celebrates Seattle's star team with a massive blue and green savings blitz. Champion-level wellness at winning savings on saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges through Sunday. Go to olympichottub.com. Better you, better life. Go Seattle.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Do you like helping others? Become a Shiva volunteer. In Pierce County, join the hundreds of volunteers across Washington state who help over 90,000 people each year with their Medicare options and questions. You don't have to know Medicare. We'll teach you. And if you're bilingual, even better. For more information and how to apply, call Shiva at 1-800-562-6900 or go to insurance.wa.gov.
Sponsored by the Office of the Insurance Commissioner and aired by the Washington State Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Three-time Grammy winner, MacArthur Fellow, a voice the Associated Press calls a marvel. Cecile McLaurin-Salvant brings jazz, blues, and fearless originality to Dimitro's Jazz Alley, February 12th through 15th. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. That much-debated millionaire's tax in Olympia is getting the attention of Washington's school superintendents. Chris Ratzall says he wants that measure to pass and a good portion of the revenue to go toward education.
While we're talking taxes, which can be this narrow conversation, we sometimes lose the why, and that is why I'm here. The state's paramount duty is education.
He is calling for 2 years of free college tuition to Washington's public colleges and universities, as well as free meals for all students. Republicans fear if that measure passes, a similar tax could end up hitting the middle class. It is day 2 of a hate crime trial at the King County Courthouse. 39-year-old Andre Carlo is accused of an unprovoked attack on a trans woman last year in Seattle's U District.
The focus at this point in the trial was on the victim's injuries. Andy Hoseppel, back on the stand, talked about the pain of the beating and how she felt when she saw her black eye and broken teeth.
I remember when I went in the restroom and I looked at the mirror to actually see what happened. And I think that's when the pain really started.
Earlier, Judge Jim Rogers ruled inadmissible a phone call made by Andre Carlo the night before the trial started, where he talked about his hate for trans people. At the King County Courthouse in Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Grim updates on this flu season as a second child has died of complications from the virus. Here's Kitsap County's health officer, Dr. Herbie Duber.
This was a child under age 5 who passed away. It's a real tragedy for the family and for the community of Kitsap at large.
Statewide, at least 74 people total have died from the flu this season. A couple of top cops are trash-talking each other's Super Bowl teams. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey explains.
The police chief of Rochester, Massachusetts is calling out Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes on Facebook, promising a Patriots win. Chief Barnes' reply?
Now, Mike, I've investigated some serious crimes in my career. But there's no bigger felony
than being a Patriots fan.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk at 4:32. Here's Nate Connors.
Seattle Sports has the update. And DuPont South 5 at Center Drive. Our collision still blocks a right lane at Center Drive, and as well as that off-ramp. We've got a 6-mile bumper-to-bumper backup starting way back at Gravely Lake Drive, Tacoma to Olympia, an hour and 5-minute commute. Now North 5 is heavy through JBLM heading into Lakewood between Gravely Lake Drive and State Route 512. Olympia to Tacoma still doing good at 35 minutes. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, 40 to 45 minutes. Heavy volumes now through Kent into Auburn, and again between Algona and Puyallup. Seattle to Federal Way, a half-hour trip. In Factoria, we did clear that collision. South 405 at Cold Creek Parkway. You're left with a nasty backup starting at 520. Bellevue to Renton is going to take you a half hour. And now North 405, we're packed from South Center almost up to 112th in Newcastle, where we have a new crash in the right lane. South Center to Bellevue just climbed a half hour. And if you're heading through Seattle North 5, scattered backups from the Michigan Curve across the Ship Canal Bridge, 35 minutes to make it through downtown Seattle. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. We'll have some areas of morning fog tomorrow with some low clouds, but sunshine again in most spots by the afternoon. Highs in the upper 50s tomorrow. Right now, 56 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
When it comes to your dog's meals, what you don't know can hurt them. Not getting the right nutrients can cause issues like broken bones or heart trouble. Before you take their diet into your own hands, KIRO 7's Monique Minlavin is taking a closer look to help you weigh the best options for your pet and your wallet. Plus, one vet shares what could help your pup live into their 20s. Tonight at 5:30 p.m. only on KIRO 7 TV.
Thank you, Joe. Well said, well read. No. Bucky's. What are we doing with this stuff, Joe? For those of you who are watching on YouTube.
We're
my jersey, my Steve.
undecided
jersey,
at this point.
Signed by Steve.
I do not know.
Should I also put my signature on there? Really bring the value? No, okay.
I'll take it.
The answer is no.
Take what? Check the jersry?
Yeah.
It's the real deal.
I know.
It's got that. See, that's got the old school.
Is it mine now? You gave it to me.
No, I just threw it over there. I got the hat.
Caught it like Largent would.
Oh, you know it right there. Yeah. All right, good job.
Real deal.
This story hasn't gotten a whole lot of news. I guess there's just way too much news for CBS to cover it or NBC, but ABC reports on this. Here we go. You ready, everybody? In 1 minute and 14 seconds, listen to what they've uncovered in Las Vegas.
Tonight, as the FBI pores over mysterious vials and other evidence seized from an alleged biolab inside a garage in this Las Vegas neighborhood, new court documents claim multiple employees of the home's property manager became, quote, deathly ill after entering the home's garage or spending time in the home, which was also an Airbnb. One employee, who they call Kelly because she didn't want to give her name, told investigators that 5 days after entering the garage, they got so sick they could not get out of bed. Law enforcement sources told ABC News they took 1,000 items from the home, including vials of unknown substances, some labeled in Mandarin Chinese. The property manager, Ori Solomon, now under arrest, facing both federal and state charges, including disposing of hazardous waste consistent with biological agents. The homeowner is a Chinese national who was arrested in 2023 after authorities in Reedley, California said he operated an illegal biological lab that was funded by Chinese banks. He's pleaded not.
Oh, okay. So 2023 gets arrested for illegal lab work.
Stop doing that.
Don't do that anymore. But get yourself a good Airbnb and just kick it back into progress here.
Reedley, California said he operated an illegal biological lab that was funded by Chinese banks. He's pleaded not guilty. David, records show that homeowner has nearly 24 properties that ABC News sources say are now being searched.
Do you think? All right, here's what happens. So this guy back in 2023 or prior to that, he was coming up with COVID tests and selling them, but they weren't good COVID tests, but he put it out there. The Chinese government knows exactly who is in the country, and they're doing work for them. They're being funded. They gave him, I think, more than $1 million. So they knew that this is a Chinese national that's living in the United States, and he set up this biolab. So people get sick, then somebody goes in there, figures it out. The police come in. They're like, what the heck is this stuff, right? So the CDC comes in, and the CDC says, well, we're just going to read what's on the label, even though we can't read Mandarin. We're just going to assume the stuff on the label is what it says it is, rather than opening it up, because they said if we were to then see it and investigate it, then at that point, the local authorities, the police, would then have to dispose of the stuff. So they just took it, and now they have it, and who knows what it is, right?
Yeah. He's got 24 properties, he said.
Yeah, so in Fresno and Ridley, and then in North Vegas, this guy has this sort of stuff. The president had a speech or had a conversation with the president of China, Xi Jinping, and apparently, at no point did the president say, hey, what's this stuff you got coming into the United States? And we caught some of the other Chinese nationalists coming into the United States. They were caught with different fungus and things, or fungi, and they were able to stop them there. But here's this guy, obviously funded. The Chinese know who's there, the work that's being done. They monitor all this stuff, but
a bunch of people got sick. Where are they? In quarantine, I hope?
Well, Miss Kelly went into the hospital with respiratory issues. I don't know about the other people as well. But yeah, they walked into the garage and they were walking around. They weren't like touching anything, but just the smell in there. They said it smelled not like a hospital, but like I guess they described it as a sort of a foul hospital. It's just a weird, rotten smells. And just being in there, just breathing some of that air, they ended up, one of them ended up in the hospital. So,
I'm sure it's nothing.
It just adds to Joe's deepening distrust for everything. Everything.
A little bit.
I don't know what will happen to this guy. Does he get thrown out of the country? Apparently, they got him in 2023, and he's still doing it. He is a dedicated scientist working with who knows what. He had some of the stuff was labeled Ebola.
Yeah, that's what worries me. What if it's some contagious pathogen that is...
Airbnb doesn't like when you do that type of thing. They got all sorts of rules on that.
I think they'll cancel your account.
Yes. But, again, well, whatever. Let's go do a different story over there. Just look over here. This just makes you think, okay, why do we have people from China coming into the country and building what seem to be biological weapons or something that would cause a great amount of harm to people? Yeah.
At least he didn't have a discombobulator.
He's in Vegas, and they say what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas, right, unless you've inhaled something like Ebola. Yeah, I went to Vegas, and somebody picks up, gets herpes or something down there, and they're like, well, I don't know what I got, but my nose fell off. God, so sad. But again, there's so much news coming at everybody that you decide what you want to look at, and the fact that the other stations aren't covering it, for maybe they covered something else, I don't know. But it's very selective as to what they decide is important to be heard. So
Savannah Guthrie's mom is very...
That's what's dominating everything. Yes. Yeah. She, the anchor there for NBC, the Good Morning, or the NBC Today Show, a tearful request that whoever has any information, please bring it forward. Is it moving forward at all? That's another one of these examples where the media likes those easy stories. There's Savannah Guthrie, her mother, 84, 87-year-old mom, can't find, there's bloodstains. They don't know who it is, although they think they arrested somebody. They have somebody, a suspect anyway.
They arrested somebody that they've charged with making what they're calling a fake ransom note. So they arrested somebody for the ransom note, but they don't think it actually had anything to do with the disappearance.
Right, and the ransom note was given, is that the same note that was given to TMZ?
We assume so, but...
Right. Fine. By the way, we have a special guest coming up Friday, right? Is it Friday? An expert on the NFL?
Also known as tomorrow.
Tomorrow, sorry, yes. Just keeping track for everybody. This person is the foremost expert on the NFL.
That's right.
You ask them anything at all about, this game with the Patriots and the Seahawks, to them, there's other big, gigantic stories regarding the history of the NFL and where the NFL is headed. You can ask this person anything. They know it all. Carlene Johnson's going to stop by from Center Square. She actually had a chance. I think she talked to Chris Rakedahl. I think she sat down with Rakedahl. And she's asked other questions as well. And then if you were listening earlier, Jake and Spike had a chance to talk to Jamie Peterson about the taxes and how important it is to have the taxes. I'll say this. It's not constitutional, but that doesn't matter. We've got a Supreme Court that ignores the Washington State Constitution. If they want to have an income tax, then follow the Constitution and make it across for everybody, but then get rid of the gigantic sales tax. You talk about how regressive these taxes are, then you get rid of the sales tax. Dory used to say this all the time when it came to the gas tax. If you want to have a gas tax, have a gas tax. If you want to get rid of the gas tax and then charge people per mile, he said, okay, fine, but you can't have both. And the same thing when we come to Olympia. You want to have an income tax? Why don't you check your Constitution and see it has to be, equally placed on everybody, and then get rid of the giant sales tax. Because yes, that is regressive against people. If you have a certain percentage of your income going just to pay for all the things that you need in life, yes, it takes a bigger percentage of the income. But across the board, everybody pays. Make the state of Washington a state with an income tax. People will continue to leave. I didn't get a chance to hear anything from Jake and Spike. Did they ask any kind of good questions? Was Jamie kind of dancing all over the place on that one?
That's what I haven't heard it either, but that was the report I got.
Yeah, okay. Let's check with Nate, who's checking traffic. Nathan.
This one brought to us by the Emerald Queen Casino. DuPont, Tacoma to, if you're heading down toward DuPont, rather, where we have a crash, Tacoma to Olympia has climbed an hour, 20 minutes. Our rollover crash is South 5 at Center Drive. It's still fully blocking that off-ramp. We did open up the right lane, but it's left us with a 7-mile backup that starts near Bridgeport Way. Lakewood, North 5, we've got about a 3-mile backup starting at Gravely Lake Drive up to State Route 512. Both directions of I-5 are struggling between Fife and State Route 18. South Center to Bellevue is at a half hour on 405. We got a solid backup starting at South Center, goes all the way up near 112th where we have this collision blocking your right lane. North of that, North 405 is bumper to bumper from 520 all the way to 522. Bellevue to Linwood is up to 50 minutes. It's another 20 if you're continuing into Everett. Seattle to Everett will take you 50 minutes. And once you get to Everett, Everett to Marysville, 15 minutes. A little crowded between Lowell Road and 529, nothing too heavy. Bellevue to Renton is down to 25 minutes, but we're still bumper to bumper from 520 down to Coal Creek Parkway. Live professional boxing is back with the main event February 6th at the Emerald Queen Casino. The main event powered by WFC February 6th only at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
It's why we bake in the sun out on the berm every summer at training camp. It's why we scream till it hurts. In the cold and rain, come fall and winter.
Listen to the 12th man.
It's why we're 12s. As the Seahawks look to bring the Lombardi Trophy back to Seattle, it's why there's only one voice we want to hear tell the story.
We are going to the Super Bowl.
Don't miss Steve Rabel calling the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60, live and for free on the KIRO Newsradio app.
What a good move I made. Let me tell you a quick story. I've done a whole bunch of races and a bunch of other stuff like that, and my left hip started bothering me about 5 years ago. And I go to the doctor, and he's like, you need a hip replacement. I was like, I'm 60. Yeah, we're going to ask you to wait a little while because we don't want you to wear the hip out. We want you and the hip to go into the grave at the same time. I said, what do you do about all this pain? Well, you could, aspirin, and you could continue to do this and that and, sleep with a pillow between your legs. I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Then I was talking to Bob Stelton over there at the sports department. So he went to Dr. Mark Wagner, and I think he had his hip done as well. So I go in there. I said to Dr. Wagner, can you fix my hip? Takes a look at the MRI. Yes. So I got the stem cell procedure. I'm telling you something. This is the best. If you've been thinking about, surgery for your knee, your wrist, your shoulder, or hip, no. Check out Dr. Mark Wagner and go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday.
All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Ugh. Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit of federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-656-1551. That's 800-656-1551.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know you can't cook. You're not one of those people who say that they can, but when people come over for dinner, they find out the hard way, you can't. You can't even microwave popcorn, and that's literally just one button. Plus, measuring and patience are huge parts of cooking, and that's just not you. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Pricing coverage match limited by state law.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Why does it matter to members that Aetna was named a Best Medicare Advantage company by U.S. News & World Report? Because they chose a plan that gives them real support, real people, and real care. We show up with care management that ensures doctors work together on complicated conditions. We show up with the latest in online tools to make healthcare easier to use anytime. We don't show up for awards. We show up for you. And showing up for you is how healthier happens together.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Parango and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
The Boat Show, the Boat Show, the Big Seattle Boat Show.
The Big Seattle Boat Show ends this Saturday, February 7th. It's the best time to buy with big selection, big discounts, and big fun for everyone. It's a big deal. Presented by Sundance Yachts and Port of Seattle. Make it a date Friday evenings with Boat Show After Dark, featuring unforgettable ambiance, music, food, beer, and wine. Details and discount tickets at seattleboatshow.com.
If you've been sitting in traffic long enough to finish a podcast and question your life choices, it's time to flip your trip. Ride transit. Find a park and ride or roll past stress on a bike or scooter. Free yourself from traffic jams at flipyourtrip.org.
Casino Resort text line 1-888-973-5476. All coming in. Teen, you got a big job ahead of you. A lot of text messages. Joe and I have to figure out how to give away the jersey. You don't seem really excited about that.
No, I am. There's so many options.
So many. What's the term for the people that are really, really into Disneyland and Disney World? They go there all the time. They got the passes. They want to get married by Mickey Mouse and Minnie.
Disney adults? Yeah, I know.
There's like a certain word for them that they're really, really deeply into it. I remember I took Lace there one time, and she was so disappointed because we're in one area. They closed the whole park down, and they just let the media in there. So we were in one area, and there was Mickey. She goes, "Oh my gosh, there's Mickey with a tennis racket. Let's get a picture." So I go, "Okay." And we're there, and then we walked over to another spot, and there was Mickey doing something else. And she's like, "Wait, wait a minute here."
Lied to.
There's 2 Mickey Mouses? I'm like, you just wait and see. You're all over the place. She was so disappointed. She was just one Mickey. She wanted to hold the line on just one. If you got a tennis racket, it's Mickey playing tennis. That's it. That's what he's going to do all day. Then maybe once to change into his outfit, and then he might do something else. But he can't be all over the place.
No, of course not.
Like it was looking at her face was like all of a sudden. Wait a minute, Santa Claus is that mall and that mall.
She was really devastated.
It was really threw her off. Really threw her off.
By the way, Disney adults is the pejorative, I guess.
Disney adults?
Yep.
I guess those are the people who are going to be going to the Haunted Mansion. You can rent it out for weddings. And the scary price is $30,000. I don't know how long you're going to be in the mansion for, but it goes a list of other weird places that people have weddings. People have weddings underwater, scuba diving, bungee jumping, where both of them together, they say, I do, and then they jump off the bridge together.
Kind of fun.
But yeah, and then other spots that end up being the place where they remember where they were.
A barn with a big plastic horse and a cow.
Yep, nothing like that. It was fine. I got married at the Grand Junction at the Grand Mesa, which was a spot there in Grand Junction, Colorado. I was standing there looking over the edge.
Was your first wedding the one that cost all the money? And
It didn't cost any money.
Oh.
We didn't have any money. We had zero money. So we went to whatever that hotel was in Grand Junction. My father gave us the check, but then he said, I would have given you this amount of money, but I had to fly in, the rental car.
He deducted
the whole thing and got all the way to the bottom, and there was the amount of money at the end. Wow. Oh, my God.
How about that?
Yeah, that was it. We read that while we were driving to the Wiesbaden Hotel for our one-night honeymoon. That's all we could afford. And Paula opened it up and go, oh, please let it be a lot of money. If he gives us $10,000, we'll get out of debt and life will be so much easier. She's like, guess the thing. She goes, oh, I see. Yeah, so he deducted for everything.
How much was it?
What the final amount was like $1,100 or something.
That's not too bad.
Luckily, there was a free breakfast at the hotel, so we didn't get deducted for that. Here comes Nate checking traffic, Nathan.
All right, this one brought to us by the Emerald Queen Casino. Let's start with some good news down there in DuPont. We cleared that long-term rollover crash, South 5 at Center Drive, so the off-ramp is back open, but it left you with a 7-mile solid backup starting near Bridgeport Way. Plan on an hour and a half now from Tacoma to Olympia. Federal Way to Tacoma is a 20-minute trip. It's slow, though, from South 320th to State Route 16, but you're close to freeway speeds through most of this. South Center to Bellevue on 405 is at a half hour. We've got a solid backup starting in South Center up to 44th now near the VMAC as we are recovering now from our earlier crash near 112th, and that recently cleared, so the backup is thinning out. North 5, scattered backups between the Michigan Curve across the Ship Canal. About 35 minutes to make your way through downtown Seattle northbound. And South 5 is slow from Northgate all the way to the West Seattle Bridge. It'll jam up to bumper volumes at 520. Linwood to Seattle right around 25 minutes. Live professional boxing is back with the main event February 6th at the Emerald Queen Casino. The main event powered by WFC February 6th only at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
A lot has changed in 50 years. The Seattle skyline, how we interact with one another, and a new way to hear the Seahawks.
Touchdown! Seahawks!
Download the KIRO Newsradio app, where you can listen to Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman call the Super Bowl for free.
That is music to the ears.
It's the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60. Kickoff Sunday at 3:30 on the only station the Seahawks have called home for 50 years. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
You know, it's frustrating. You work your tail off for 40 plus years. The government takes 30 or 40% in taxes. Then they turn right around and waste it. Americans are getting fed up, and that's why they're taking advantage of tax planning. Charlie Harger here. Tax planning could significantly reduce your taxes, not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. Learn how much you could save in taxes when you retire with free retirement tax savings analysis from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $300,000, schedule your free analysis now by calling 206-210-1350. Don't pay the government one more dime than you need to. You need to call the team at Boss Retirement Solutions. Call 206-210-1350. 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
This is Lynn. She's always been active, maybe a little too active back in the day.
When I was 19 years old and immortal, I stripped out all my ligament and I had to have 6 knee surgeries, and that's on my right knee. And then my left knee finally gave out and had a torn meniscus.
Years of pain followed until she saw Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm 4 months out and I have no pain in my knees, and I have had knee pain my whole life. I have no concept of what it was like without pain. It's a miracle. I'm totally thrilled.
No pain, no limits.
Dr. Wagner gave me the green light to ski again this year. I'm like, that's incredible. So I'm just so excited.
After years of surgeries and setbacks, Lynn finally got her freedom back.
I think he saved my legs, so saved my knees, and gave me at least another 10, 15 years to do what I want to do.
If joint pain is holding you back, find out what stem cell therapy could do for you with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Hey, let's throw a party this year for the big game.
Oh, great idea. But first, we should get a new TV. One of the top-rated brands, Samsung, LG, or Sony.
Okay, I'll start shopping on the internet and then head over to the Warehouse Club.
Well, but if that's all we do, we'll be sorry.
Why?
Because the best deals on those top-rated TVs are at video only, not online or at the club.
Video only?
Yep. We can save up to $500 if we shop smart.
Or we'll be sorry.
For nearly 50 years, over 90,000 homeowners have trusted Home Comfort Alliance, including me. John Curley here. Save up to $2,000 on a new Lennox heating and cooling system. Schedule your free consultation at HomeComfortAlliance.com. Call the comfort people at Home Comfort Alliance.
3 more days until Super Bowl 60. The only station where you hear Steve Label call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. A day after Savannah Guthrie and her siblings pleaded for their mother's return in an online video, her brother Cameron has just posted another video on social media.
Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom.
The latest video was posted as a ransom note deadline for a monetary transfer passed, and after feds charged a California man with sending a phony ransom note to the family. CBS's Cammie McCormick has more on some lingering questions.
Sheriff Chris Nanos went through the timeline of events as authorities know it.
Sunday morning, early morning at 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera disconnects.
That could indicate the suspect knew how the doorbell camera worked, that it was there, and how to disable it. It also isn't clear if authorities are in possession of the camera, but the sheriff said tech companies are assisting in the investigation.
A driver crashes a car through the front window of a grocery store in the Westwood neighborhood of Los Angeles after police say she lost control after hitting a bicyclist.
People were underneath the vehicle. Firefighters were able to remove that vehicle to make access to those patients.
But firefighters say 3 people under that car died at the scene. At least 6 others were injured. The driver, an elderly woman, is said to be cooperating with police.
That's CBS's Carter Evans reporting. It's something that hasn't happened in more than 4 years since Russia invaded Ukraine. The U.S. and Russia have agreed to resume high-level military-to-military communication. President Trump says he wants to begin talks on a new arms treaty now that the old one expired. And as CBS's Weijia Zhang reports, he'd like China to get involved.
China weighed in and said at this time, China should not be part of any extension of that treaty, pointing out that the amount of arms that the U.S. and Russia have combined is extremely large compared to what China has.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says President Trump wants Congress to pass funding for the Department of Homeland Security. But she says he will not back down when it comes to one issue.
The president is never going to waver in his commitment to allow immigration enforcement efforts in this country and to support ICE and Border Patrol and the deportation of illegal alien criminals.
Federal prosecutors have charged 11 people in a marriage fraud scheme, accusing them of engaging in a conspiracy to recruit Americans, preferably U.S. service members, for marriages with Chinese nationals. This is CBS News.
Real crimes, real justice. Follow and listen to 48 Hours on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
What Governor Bob Ferguson is betting on a Seahawks Super Bowl win. That's one story coming up after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
Thank you, Aaron. This one brought to us by Bradley Johnson Lawyers and 1-800-DUI-AWAY. In DuPont, we cleared a long-term rollover crash South 5 at Center Drive about 15 minutes ago. It was sitting there for over an hour. That's why we have a 10-mile backup that starts near South Tacoma Way. After the JBLM main gate, though, this opens up pretty quickly for you. Tacoma to Olympia is at an hour and 20-minute drive. Now, heading through Lakewood North 5, it's packed from Murray Road there near Thorn Lane up to State Route 512. As far as I can tell, this is just volume. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, we've already improved to 35 minutes. Seattle to Federal Way, down to a half hour. It's already thinning out pretty nicely along South Center. South Center to Bellevue on northbound 405. We've got a solid backup starting in South Center up to about the VMAC there near 44th. North 5 scattered between the Michigan Curve through the Ship Canal Bridge here in downtown Seattle. It's going to take you 35 minutes to make it through this backup. South 5 slows at Northgate in the downtown down to about I-90, and at 520 it turns into bumper-to-bumper volumes. But Linwood to Seattle still looking good at 20 minutes. This is the only backup between Linwood and Seattle. Outside of this, we're seeing very typical backups. Serving the Pacific Northwest for over 30 years with hundreds of 5-star reviews, 1-800-DUIAWAY.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. High school students from all over King County went out of class today and instead converged on downtown Seattle to protest ICE. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch was there and has this report.
The students organized online agreed to walk out of their respective schools at lunchtime and meet downtown. As many as a couple of thousand students did just that. They peacefully marched through downtown and rallied on the plaza at City Hall. Lakeside student Kamira Johnson is one of the organizers.
ICE is affecting all of America. A kid from Franklin got deported yesterday. There's ICE been seen on the streets of Seattle, and we just wanted to show up.
Seattle police kept watch over the crowd, but there were no problems.
Seattle police now investigating a machete attack in the Central District that severed a man's fingers. Officers were called just after noon today to an RV parked near Martin Luther King Jr. Way South and Yesler Way. That is where they found that victim was attacked with a machete and pepper sprayed inside the RV. He was taken to Harborview. K-9 units searched for the suspect, but police say that person got away, possibly in a vehicle. Positive injury update for Seahawks rookie safety Nick Emanwari. Team says he suffered a minor ankle injury yesterday and fully expects him to play in the Super Bowl. Emanwari told media he might be limited during practice, but come game time.
Once I'm out there, my adrenaline will be pumping. It's going to be, last game of the season, so I think I'll be good to go.
21-year-old is a finalist for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Seafood and coffee are on the line for Governor Bob Ferguson this Sunday. He made that Super Bowl bet with his counterpart in Massachusetts, Governor Maura Healey. They posted their wagers in a social media video today.
In the unlikely event you win, here's what we're going to send you. Legal Seafood's famous New England clam chowder and lobster rolls. Maybe some East Coast oysters, the best and the only kind. And I hear you don't have very good coffee out there, so we're going to throw in some Dunkin'.
Ferguson says if the Patriots win, he'll be shipping over shellfish and coffee. He did not detail any of those specific products. Now to your weather updates. We are seeing mostly cloudy skies tonight, some morning fog tomorrow, but sunshine for Friday afternoon, highs in the upper 50s. Right now, 55 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm taking my mask off here for reasons that will become obvious during our discussion.
Aha. The mask off, and it's Jay Inslee, former governor there. That's a good one. That's for the old COVID years. Right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on, everybody. Follow the science. Time to get in the news. All right, let's get her in here. We don't have a walk-on song for her, do we?
Not yet.
Carlene Johnson from the Center Square gets a chance to sit down with Chris Rakedahl. Oh, there you are. Oh, you're in your car. Are you homeless? What's going on?
Yeah. Well, they're coming after me with the income tax, so I moved into my car. No, I left the Capitol to get. I got to wash the toxins off me. And so, but then I pulled off the Nisqually exit here to get some gas.
Okay.
Okay. Right where I'm at.
Yeah.
The craziest thing just happened to me before we get into this. I got off the Nisqually exit of northbound 5 and I'm sitting at the bottom waiting to take a right turn to come and sit here. And a hawk landed on my sunroof.
It's a sign.
Go Hawks. Okay, you took my joke. Oh, damn, producer. Yeah.
Show.
That was amazing.
It's a sign. Yes.
Was the coolest thing.
It's a sign.
It scared the woolly bug out of me. I jumped and then he flew off, but he did land on my sunroof. So I think it's a good sign for our chances on Sunday. So.
It's like that Greek, I forget who it was. It might have been Prometheus. Yeah. So who stole fire. They tied him to a rock, and then every day some bird would come down and eat his intestines or something, and then fly away. Oh, so I've just warning you. That possibly could be what happened to you.
That's what it made me think of too, John.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I was just thinking you coming from Olympia. Okay. So you had a chance. You asked the superintendent, Chris Rakedahl. Was this a press conference? Were there a bunch of people there, or you wasn't a sit down with just you?
Well, it turns out there were initially only 2 members of the media that were there. And then he's got like 17 tech people and comms people that sit around behind you. But it was me and another gal from the State Standard who were live. There were other apparently journalists watching on TVW, but nobody else asked any questions. And then I had, and this was him saying, yay for the income tax. And this is how I think it should be spent.
Right. Because 2023, 2025, $30 billion spent. It's about $19,000 or $20,000 per student. And 80% of that goes to salaries. It's not enough. So he needs more, because if we just had a little bit more, we would have more than half the kids reading and doing math at grade level. So it's a money problem. It's a money problem.
It's a money problem. So, but then what was cool is that, I have asked before for like a sit down interview with him, a one-on-one. And so he granted me that today. So after the press conference, I went into another conference room with him and had a chance to sit down. I haven't promoted any of that video yet because it's just been a crazy day in Olympia, but got to ask him the stuff that I know you're talking about on your show all the time, John, the stuff about the initiatives, like, why are you pushing this gender stuff? And have you sat down with the kids that are the victims of this, the girls that are the victims, right? That have had boys play against them in sports and go into their locker rooms. He said, well, they've never reached out to me. I got this all on camera. And I said, are you sure? Because I've been told that, and they publicly have called out you and said, let give me an opportunity to sit with you. And so I did get him to say on video today that he will sit down with those girls.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty huge.
Yeah. That's big.
We'll see if it happens.
Yeah. They've asked numerous times to sit and say, I competed against a boy and I came in second, or I competed against a boy and this happened to me. Why aren't you protecting my rights? Yeah.
And so I also asked him why he didn't show up at the listening sessions that were Tuesday in Olympia after the big, Let's Go Washington rally. There was like 300 people there, John, that went. I mean, people were there for hours because the rally started at 2:30. And then at 4:30 was the first listening session in the Senate. And that went till like 6 something. And then everybody stayed and then went over to the House for the next set of listening sessions over there. Republicans did this because, of course, the majority Democrats are not giving the initiatives public hearings. And so this was a chance. And they were all invited, including Rakedahl. He was invited. WEA is invited. Planned Parenthood, Gender Justice Leagues. All these folks that are against the initiatives were invited. That's your buzzer for how many showed up at the listening session. And I asked him today, I said, why weren't you there? They would have been a respectful audience. Your chance to say why you think these initiatives are so bad. And he said, well, I don't think I got a personal invitation. And I said, really? I said, I think you were invited because many people told me that. And he said, well, there was maybe a group email that went out, but not to me individually.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at least you're holding his feet somewhere near the fire, but he's able to dance around. I found, I'm going to steal some of the stuff before you put it up. This is, you were asking Chris Rakedahl, superintendent of schools, why he opposes the federal income tax for education proposal. So this is because it's generated as much as $730 million for Washington State if they had it. So what it is the government allows you to make a $1,700 donation to schools, public schools, private schools. You can spend it on whatever you want to spend it on. You can say, I want this to go to tutoring, or I want this for this or that. And then the federal government goes, when you get your tax return, then they go, okay, you're allowed to deduct the $1,700. So I don't know how many states have already kicked in on this one. Let's see.
I think it's 24 by last count.
Right. And the governor hasn't spoken out against it yet. I think he says he's still waiting to sort of figure out how all this goes. So the parent can give it to the public school. The parent can give it to whatever they want. The taxpayers' money, the $1,700 could be, I went right into that school. So when you asked him why he seems to be opposed to it.
You're suggesting that people would give all that money to private schools or religious institutions when that but that's your talking point. That's not what people have suggested. Many people have said, I'd love to use it for a tutor for my kid who I love my public school, or I need it for transportation purposes, any kind of thing like that. So to suggest that it's just going to take away from public schools is probably not a fair assessment of how many people might use that credit.
Yeah, again. By the way, can you get that heart monitor, the paddles out for this one for me?
Defibrillator?
The defibrillator?
Yeah. Seriously.
Hold on. Here we go. Here's his answer.
Your words. I didn't say it takes away from public schools. This is a tax credit. So what it does do is it has the federal government selling more debt to foreign interests.
Here we go. Hang on. Now all of a sudden we're concerned. We are concerned about the debt, right? Selling interest to foreign. By the way, it's about 20%. Yeah. The rest of it is owed to American citizens. But that aside, here we go. So he's now concerned about debt.
Racking up $38.5 trillion in debt that we're unloading on our kids to say, take a few bucks now to go where you want. That's what the Congress has chosen to do. I want our state to be able to put this in the hands of accountable elected officials or a board that's accountable directly. And yes, everyone can benefit from that. That's what's clear. The bill in its conception, though, was a privatization movement, and the afterthought was, and I guess some public school students might use it for tutoring. I just want the state to be able to decide that and not the federal government.
Right. It's private. See, he slipped the word in private. I had a discussion. She said she wants to come on. She's in WEA. She's part of the union. And I had a conversation with her. And when she came up to me at this restaurant, she might be listening right now. And she said, I hear you have a problem with public schools. I said, I don't have a problem with public schools. I have a problem with monopolies. And then I asked her, what phone service do you use? You get Verizon, you could use T-Mobile, right? AT&T might, you get a choice, right? What do you have?
Mobile?
And she said Verizon. I got Verizon. I said, why'd you choose them? I like that. I like the coverage. She said it's the same thing. Just give people choices. That's all. Just don't have a monopoly. The government does everything it can to break up monopolies. Just don't have a monopoly. Give the parents the choice. If they're going to be taxed and to go to the public school, but they don't send the kid to the public school. They send it to the private school, so now they're paying twice for this. So just give them choice.
Exactly. Yeah, and what makes me crazy about this whole federal tax credit thing and why I asked him it is because if we don't, and now Governor Ferguson has all the power, he has to opt us into this by January 1 of this next year. If he doesn't, we can still take the tax deduction, but it's going to go to one of these programs in other states to support students in Idaho and Texas and any of the other 24 states that have opted in. And isn't that crazy? Why don't we want that $732 million, which, by the way, is a conservative estimate of what it would bring in every single year? Why do we not want to keep that here? I don't get it.
Because it's the camel's nose under the tent where all of a sudden people start to go, oh, I see. I can direct my money to something I want. They don't want anybody to have any choice. They don't want vouchers. They're trying to slam down hard on homeschooling. They don't like charter schools. They try to restrict as much as that as possible because the guy got elected to carry the water for the unions. And the unions want to protect what the unions have, where 80% of the costs of
it's making me mad. I'm going to have to open my chips.
All right, fine. Okay.
I was going to wait, but now I'm mad. You know, listening back to that interview.
Yes.
And I haven't listened back since I posted that. I wish I had an hour to have an exchange with him. And again, to his credit, he did sit down with me after we had that initial press conference to answer some tough questions. But again, that to me, this is one of the biggest things that we have to focus on. There has to be more attention to this. Literally, he's over here saying, I want all the income tax revenue for schools in Washington State. We're talking $732 million, and I bet you a big chunk of that would stay in the public school system.
Yes.
Kids, especially parents that love their local public school, but they maybe need some help for transportation or tutoring or special ed services, whatever, or even technology. Any educational expense would be allowed under this federal tax credit. It's even Obama's education person called it a no-brainer.
Yeah. Well, it's not fair because we're adding to the $36 trillion of debt, and then China. So
that was the first I'd heard that one. That was a new deflection.
Okay.
Tool.
Did you get anything else from anybody else over there? You big troublemaker, Carlene Johnson at the Center Square?
Well, right before I got on the freeway, I was in a hearing. Senate Ways and Means took up the sheriff certification bill 5974. It's moving forward. This is the one that Sheriff Keith Swank of Pierce County spoke out and got himself in so much trouble for.
He's the poster child for, unfortunately, that bill.
Yes. But the sheriff of Mason County was there, and he spoke with me after. He spoke very eloquently, and they only gave him 60 seconds to speak in opposition to the bill. But he said, and he's looking up at the electeds on the dais up there, and he said, you're elected. The people put you in this position because they trust you and want you to represent them. He said, that's what I do. And that's what you want to take away in the 38 of the 39 counties where we still have elected sheriffs outside of King County, the only one that's appointed.
Right.
But John, did you hear Pierce County's taking this up at a meeting on Monday night? Because there are folks now in Pierce County that probably because of Sheriff Swank are trying to move to make sure that they can't have an elected sheriff, that it have to be appointed.
Yeah, we had the sheriff on, and I told him, I said, Swank, you are your own worst enemy on this sort of stuff. What's going to happen is they're going to say the actions and the things that you say are the reason we can't, trust the people that elected you. But he just kept going. And I asked, did you have any regrets for the statement that you made? He goes, I only regret that I didn't have more time to say more.
That's what he told me too.
Yeah. So that's the problem. You know what? I have to say that I like the fact that you're down there covering this because the Center Square, did they let you have free access? Are you in the Senate and in the House as well? Or do they restrict?
Well, we went through a big credential fight last year. And this year they changed it. So you have a hard pass for the House On the Senate side, I have to go in every Monday and get my weekly pass all over again. And as you know, they're still denying any independent journalists like Brandy Cruz, Jonathan Cho, access at all. They're not being allowed in. So that's a fight to be continued. That legal battle is
so yeah. For people that don't know, Ari Hoffman from KVI, Brandy Cruz, and Jonathan Cho have all asked for press passes. Where it gets a little gray area. It's, well, you have to be a journalist. Okay, so Cho, are you a journalist? You're a citizen journalist. You're with the Discovery Institute, which is a think tank. That's not, so they haven't updated, right? Used to be your newspaper, TV, radio. That's it. But now with citizen journalists coming in, they can say, well, you're not really a journalist. Brandy Cruz, we're not going to give you a press pass. So
but look at how media has changed. They have more legitimacy than I would argue that the Seattle Times or any of those other local journalists have that come down there. They get credentialed automatically. The influence of these new forms of media, whether you agree with them or not, is massive, and shutting the door off to those folks and not letting them go into those press conferences and ask questions just makes all those folks look like they're running scared.
I know, but you do see, here's part of the problem. Let's say it's Susie Joe, who's on TikTok, who says, oh, I'm a citizen journalist, and she has, 200 followers, and she's, kind of kooky.
That's not the same, though. I think they could have, you're right, they're going to have to set a threshold. Like you've got X number of followers, or you've been doing it however long, or in the case of Jonathan and Brandy, and well, Ari, certainly, these are legitimate journalists who had mainstream media ties well before, for Brandy and Jonathan's sake, went off to do their own thing. So it's not like they're not legitimized reporters. That's just
right. I think what they look at it is, well, it's your news and opinion, and then you come in as an opinion person. You're going to, your questions are going to be biased, and you're going to be in there muck and rake and muck and eating potato chips in your car later on.
I'm going to start right now.
What's the flavor? What is that sour cream and onion?
The best ever. Potato. And I regret to tell you, this is the only food that I've had so far today. Okay. And here's how tired I am.
Bet your car smells good. What? Up. There we just. The cup of noodles. Oh my God.
But then I don't have a microwave in my car, so how am I going to eat that?
Okay.
Get the hot water from the coffee maker.
Carly, if you start acting crazy, they're going to take your press pass away.
Mm-hmm. They will.
Okay, there she goes. It's the weirdest. All right, get back.
Sorry, I'm starving. I'm literally starving.
Okay, get back on the road. Get back on the road. Goodbye. Carlene Johnson from Center Square. Brought to you by Lay's Potato Chips. Here comes Ruffles. Nate checking traffic. Oh, Ruffles, sorry. Here's Nate checking traffic.
Tacoma to Olympia, an hour 25 minutes stemming from an earlier rollover at Center Drive in DuPont. That cleared about a half hour, 40 minutes ago. But we're left with a bumper-to-bumper backup starting at State Route 512 all the way past the JBLM main gate. That's a 7-mile backup. In Federal Way, eastbound 18, heavy from I-5 over to C Street in Auburn. This backup has North 5 drivers slow from about Porter Way there in Fife up to State Route 18. After you get past 18, it's wide open all the way into Seattle, as a matter of fact. Renton to Puyallup, southbound 167, taking you just 35 minutes. The north end is cleared out. The south end is still packed from Algona into Puyallup. Getting into Seattle, North 5, you're packed at the Michigan Curve across the Ship Canal Bridge. Plan on 35 minutes to clear downtown Seattle. Northbound 99, you're bumper to bumper through the downtown tunnel. South 5, you're going to slow in Northgate down to the Ship Canal Bridge, and then from there, it's bumper to bumper down to I-90. Linwood to Seattle, though, just 15 minutes. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, 35 minutes on 520, 25 minutes on I-90. And Seattle to Everett, 40 minutes. Bellevue to Everett at 55. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
It's why we bake in the sun out on the berm every summer at training camp. It's why we scream till it hurts. In the cold and rain, come fall and winter.
Listen to the 12th man.
It's why we're 12s. As the Seahawks look to bring the Lombardi Trophy back to Seattle, it's why there's only one voice we want to hear tell the story.
We are going to the Super Bowl.
Don't miss Steve Rabel calling the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60, live and for free on the KIRO Newsradio app.
Welcome to the first Puget Sound Express Whale Report of 2026. The whale community is celebrating the return of migrating gray whales to the Salish Sea. Each spring, majestic gray whales travel from the southern Pacific waters north to Alaska. A special group of these grays, affectionately named Sounders, enter the Salish Sea to feed on ghost shrimp. The team from Puget Sound Express report that there are more than half a dozen Sounders already in residence, including local favorites Little Patch, Gretchen, and Tahoma. Some of these whales have been visiting Puget Sound for more than 30 years. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers guaranteed gray whale tours departing from Edmonds beginning February 14th. On Valentine's weekend, the crew will hand out free roses to guests to celebrate the occasion. Puget Sound Express tours are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. They guarantee you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed. Shop now for a limited time. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
This President's Day, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. Another state leader is coming out in support of the idea of a millionaire's tax in Washington. State Superintendent Chris Rakedahl says he wants that revenue for public school education.
Rakedahl's proposal includes 2 years of free college tuition to Washington's in-state institutions, free meals for all students, and more money for K-12 education. He also wants $1.4 billion in property tax relief for homeowners.
The purpose of government isn't taxing. That's the function we use to pay for our real purpose, which is understanding who we are, who we want to be, and who we want to become.
But Republicans warn that once this tax mechanism exists, future legislatures could lower the $1 million threshold to reach middle-class taxpayers. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
It is day 2 of a hate crime trial at the King County Courthouse. 39-year-old Andre Carlos accused of an unprovoked attack on a trans woman last year in Seattle's University District. Under cross-examination today, the victim, Andy Hulsipol, recounted the attack.
I got punched in the fucking face, and then I felt my teeth shatter, and then I spit them out on the sidewalk. I think I just went over this with you already. I really don't like reliving it over and over and over again.
Carlo is charged with assault and a hate crime. Young child in Kitsap County has now died of the flu. This marks the second pediatric flu-related death of the season. County Public Health Officer Dr. Herbie Duber.
I will tell you as a practicing emergency physician that I've seen a lot of cases of flu this year. It's not necessarily as high as we've seen in other years, but it is pretty significant.
74 people have died from the flu statewide this season. Dr. Duber says it is not too late to get the shots. Shares of Amazon are down 10% in after-hours trading. Investors not liking this announcement from CEO Andy Jassy during today's earnings call.
We expect to invest about $200 billion in capital expenditures across Amazon.
That is up from $125 billion last year as the company is spending more on artificial intelligence. Just last week, the company announced 16,000 layoffs. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk. It's 5:33. Check in with Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. The Emerald Queen Casino brings us this update. Tacoma to Olympia has improved to an hour and 10 minutes with a 13-mile backup that starts in South Tacoma and goes all the way through DuPont. And it's bumper to bumper from State Route 512 just past the JBLM main gate. Eastbound 512 now packed through Parkland. You'll clear after Portland Avenue. Westbound 512 thick just briefly through the South Hill curve. In Federal Way, eastbound 18, we're packed from I-5 all the way over to C Street in Auburn. I've been checking out the cameras. I'm not seeing any blocking issues. North 5 heading into Seattle, we're packed from the Michigan curve across the Ship Canal Bridge, where, of course, 2 left lanes remain blocked for Revive I-5. It's 35 minutes to clear downtown Seattle. Northbound 99 still bumper to bumper through the downtown tunnel. South 5 slows at Northgate to the Ship Canal Bridge, and then from there, it's bumper to bumper down to I-90. Still looking good from Linwood to Seattle, just under 20 minutes. Now crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, plan on 35 minutes on 520. You're bumper to bumper at about mid-span. 25 minutes on I-90. You're crowded from the Mercer Tunnel over to I-5. Seattle to Everett, 40 minutes. Bellevue to Everett, 55 minutes. And you're bumper to bumper through Kirkland. Live professional boxing is back with the main event February 6th at the Emerald Queen Casino. The main event powered by WFC, February 6th, only at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. We'll see some areas of morning fog again for Friday. Low clouds, sunshine again in most spots by the afternoon. Rainy on Saturday, showers for Sunday. Right now, 54 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Here we go with the John Curley Show. Muckleshoot Resort Casino. Text line. Is this right here?
That's it.
Oh, Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. All right, it's right there. 1-888-973-5476. Joe, we still have not come up with an idea for the jersey, the Steve Largent signed jersey. A giveaway of some sort.
It's going to happen, though. Tomorrow.
Well, that's planning. That's for tomorrow.
That's
Right.
As Aaron wanted it. Okay, let's see. We're trying to get this guy on, but I guess he just maybe doesn't want to come on necessarily. But he's a parent, and I'm sure he represents many parents. They don't like the fact that they go to the school and the kids are marching around. They're down there right now. Are they still in Seattle marching around? They're out of school?
Done.
Oh, they're finished.
Yeah,
okay.
they're done.
Now they get back to the continuing to fail in reading and math. So this guy's out there, Vance Glaudy?
I didn't get a chance to ask him how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah.
That sounds
He's a father of middle school at Cascade Middle School, and he was outraged when he learned that his son was let out of school and encouraged to attend a protest that he had no interest in. So the dad knew the kid had no interest in it.
The kid called him and told
him. Middle school. I want to be. I want to be in class.
My son just called and said that his school just brought him to a protest.
A couple F-bombs flying around in here?
Several, yes. I beeped him, though.
So he's currently at a protest. I'm fitting to go rage.
Uh-oh.
Who the said you could bring my child to a protest? Any of our kids to a protest. They see what's happening today. Bringing kids out there now. Purposely in schools. Washington State. Send this out. Washington State sending their kids to protest. Let me give you a little rundown on the way there. White Center, we call out here Rat City. If anybody from Washington State knows this Rat City is not an area you bring kids, let alone bring kids to a protest in this piece of city.
Hey,
if anybody knows White Center, you know Rat City is dangerous. Why are you bringing our kids into dangerous territory with protesting going on?
Okay, and that's video from earlier today,
Yeah,
right?
that's the downtown Seattle protest.
And those are all the kids that are able to read at grade level and do math at grade level?
Statistically,
I would say no.
half of them.
That's okay. That's not important. If we could get one of those kids to get on, that would be great. Hey, kiddos, anybody out there, any kid under the age of like 18? 1-888-973-5476. Would you be willing to take the ICE immigration deportation test I have for you? It's very simple. It's really simple. And if not, I can give it to all of you. You want to do that?
Sure.
All right, some fun game show music here. Let's see, a little test here. This is what I'd ask the kids. Who issues removal orders? ICE, Homeland Security, or judges?
Judges.
The answer is judges.
Yes.
Is ICE also Border Patrol?
No.
The answer is no. Good. Is it easier to get into Canada or the United States of America?
United States of America.
I'm sorry, the answer is it's easier in the United States of America. I'm sorry.
No. Yes. Yes. 3 for 3.
You're correct.
Is that yes?
That is yes, is correct, yes. On average, if you are a Mexican citizen and you would like to apply for a work visa in the United States, what would be the cost? $190 to $2,500, $50 to $400, or $5,000 to $13,000.
50 to 400.
The answer is $190 to $2,500. When you apply and you're a Mexican citizen, the visa application, is it $185, $230, or $610?
$230.
Answer is $185. Now that's U.S. dollars. So you start thinking, okay, so I'm living in Mexico. I want to come to America. I've got to come up with $185, right? That's for one individual. The interview takes 4 to 6 weeks, waiting for the interview, and then you have to wait to do a background check that could be another, 1 to 2 months. Altogether, you pay a high cost, then you sit there, you do the interviews, you wait for the paperwork to go through. They may or may not accept you to come in on that. The visitor visas and there's work visas, all the things are different on this. But 1.2 million people come legally into America every single year. Does any other country accept that amount legally?
I'm going to say no.
The answer is no, right. Germany has 200,000. That's about it. So we have laws, And the laws are written by Congress, and then Homeland Security, starting in 2002, starts enforcing these. So here's one lot more for you, Joe. You ready?
Ready.
Who deported the most amount of illegal immigrants? Was it Bush? Was it Clinton? Obama? Or Trump?
Obama.
Obama. Was it 1 million, 2 million, or 3 million?
3.
Nate says, hey, hold on. Nate says 3. You didn't even phone a friend on that one.
I think it's 3.
The answer is 3. 3 million. Yeah. There you go.
It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. There you go. Well, you knew all that. You could be marching around down there with those kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, but listen, the teachers are activists. They're not necessarily teaching in this regard. I would say, hey, I'll tell you what we do. If I ran that class, I'd say, if you want to go protest, okay, fine. But you're going to take my test first. I'm going to teach you about how the laws are written. We're going to talk about illegal immigration and its civil infraction, and we're going to go through the process of how the judge then determines whether or not you're going to be removed. And then I would say, let's go through some of the people that have recently been removed. Pedro Garcia Lopez, a lewd act with someone under 14, a sexual battery. And then I would say, do we want that person walking around on the street? Yes or no? And then the kids would be like, no. Okay. How about Mr. Cruz? Rubio Cruz, DUI and then raped a child. Do we want that person in the country? No. Okay, good. Fine. How about Jasper Singh? Sexual assault motivated on a minor. Would we want that person in the country? No, we don't want that. Okay, how do you want to get them out of here? Would you like to get them out? Don't forget, we got one more. Manuel De Jesus Martinez, assault, sexually motivated and aggravated assault. And I think he also had a gun. Do we want him in the country? And they say no. Okay, how do you get this person out of the country? Well, then you'd ask them those questions. And if they got the questions right, if they got, 80% correct, I said, okay, then you can go march around. At least you're somewhat informed. But it seems like the rest of you just want the day off. Call me crazy. All right. Something happy, Joe. What do we got? Give me one happy thing.
Text messages.
Okay, we'll do that. Here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan?
Yes, sir. Tacoma to Olympia is going to take you an hour and 10 minutes. We've got a 7-mile thick backup between State Route 512 and the JBLM main gate. In Federal Way, eastbound 18, still heavy from I-5 over to the Valley Freeway. Again, there's just heavy volume here. Both directions of I-5 are slow between State Route 18 and the Fife Curve. Here in Seattle, North 5, it's bumper to bumper approaching that West Seattle Bridge all the way across the Ship Canal Bridge. It's still about 35 minutes to clear downtown Seattle. Northbound 99 remains bumper to bumper from the stadiums through the tunnel up to South Lake Union. South 5, we're thinning out, but it's still crowded from Northgate to I-90. Linwood to Seattle, less than 20 minutes. Seattle to Federal Way, you're pretty much cleared out, just minimal slowing along South Center. It's less than 25 minutes to make this trip. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text app, APP, to 888-973-5476. And download the KIRO Newsradio App. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Since the beginning, 50 years ago, KIRO has been the only place where the 12s have listened to the Seahawks.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks. Steve Rabel made the catch.
And Sunday, the tradition continues.
The Seahawks are going back to the Super Bowl.
When Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman bring you the call of Super Bowl 60 between the Seahawks and the Patriots. And like every other Seahawks game, the only place you'll hear it is KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
This year's tax changes. Better not get caught snoozing. Miss one deduction, lose thousands. Not amusing.
Big tax changes can mean bigger refunds at Jackson Hewitt. And right now, get $100 just to try us.
Don't worry, tax filers. If money is tight, get $100 from Jackson Hewitt, so you'll sleep better at night.
Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed. Shop now for a limited time. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Nick, did you know this is called quit time? Did you know what that is?
I do not know.
That means right about this time of the year, people quit their New Year's resolutions.
Oh, kind of like last year.
Okay, never mind. The important thing is that both of us made a New Year's resolution that we would take better care of ourselves for each other. And we're holding to that.
We are not flaming out because...
Longevity Medical Clinic. So we get the support of Longevity. We told them what our goals were, and they're like, absolutely, we'll get you in line. So they support me, they support you, and then as a couple, they're making us accountable for the decisions we make. So we're not going to be quitting on these things. I can't remember what your New Year's resolution was around the house.
My New Year's resolution around the house was that I was going to try to get you to start putting things away.
And I was going to get you to actually learn how to cook a piece of chicken.
Oh, well, that's for next year.
Okay, fine. Either way, we've got a team behind us. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Your next to order. Please pull forward.
You know, Josh, when you said you were springing for lunch, I didn't think you meant drive-through fast food.
Come on, man. Money's been tight lately, and these high gas prices are killing me.
You pay full price at the pump? Get your head out of the sand and start using Upside.
What's Upside?
Come on, dude. Upside is the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it every time I fill up my tank.
Does that really add up?
I've already banked around $200.
That's serious cash.
Hi, can I take your order?
Yeah, I'm ordering the free Upside app to start earning cash back on every gallon of gas I buy.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ORDER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ORDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ORDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
DayandNight.net.
Save $1,700 when you have Day and Night match your current furnace with a qualifying AC or heat pump.
Your furnace is lonely all by itself, but it doesn't have to be. With our Matchmaker Special, we'll match your furnace with a perfect air conditioner or heat pump to keep your furnace company and your home comfy all year round.
Match your furnace to a qualifying cooling system and save $1,700.
DayandNight.net.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Get ready, because it's here. The first huge public online auction of the new year from the James G. Murphy Company. And it's underway now. We're stacked and packed with a vast assortment of heavy construction equipment, trucks, trailers, and more, like 17 excavators, 6 dozers, including a 2012 John Deere 700K XLT, 4 wheel loaders, a grader, a 2021 Kenworth T270 propane delivery truck, a 2023 Volvo Auto Transporter, 6 Peterbilt 567 tractors, 6 dump trucks, forklifts, boom lifts, loaders, graders, and utility trucks. But wait, there's more, like over 100 unused gas-powered excavators, flatbed trucks, and on and on. We are on fire with gear. Preview all items Tuesday and Wednesday, February 10th and 11th at our location in Marysville. Do not miss the first huge public online auction of the new year. Check MurphyAuction.com for all details. MurphyAuction.com. MurphyAuction.com.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
Take the next step to becoming a Seahawks season ticket holder. Join the season ticket holder notification list to secure your spot in line. By signing up, you'll be the first to know when space becomes available on the official Blue Pride waitlist. Plus, receive team news, special ticket offers, and more. Visit Seahawks.com/season tickets to sign up today.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Advanced Hair Restoration.
All right, here we go. How many, what do we, Hudson's going to do?
2 syllables.
2 syllables. Hudson. Okay, that's more than that. But we'll get the letter of the day first, take care of all the rest. And, of course, we always start with Dennis.
That's right. Dennis in Seattle says, I'm just here today so I don't get fined. And to see if John Curley runs out of music again. A little bit of a softer touch.
God, hee-haw, Aaron. Joe Mama's so ugly. How ugly is he? His own portraits hang themselves.
Dark. Lomax in Seattle says, guys, I kind of need to win that Steve Largent jersey somehow, some way. John, if you still need that kidney, I'm willing to give it to Sherry.
I'll take the feces.
All right. We're dividing up everything at this point. Benny, the tugboat expert, and he is. Powell felt he was duped big time later on.
Oh, yes, colon. WMD in the Epstein files, Brian from Arlington says, those are some heavy files I have no interest in sifting through. Thanks for taking the heavy lifting for the rest of us, Joe. Report back anything of importance.
Yeah. Is it Jolene? Jackie? Oh, Jackie. From the 98032. I agree with Joe. It's mind-blowing.
Mike in Portland says, Joe, a little cynicism is like hot sauce. Adds flavor and keeps you honest. But once you're drinking it straight from the bottle, nobody can taste the food anymore, and everyone's backing away slowly.
There you go, Mike. There's Mike. That's it. Doug in Mount Vernon says, John Curley Show, where QAnon meets the Cato Institute.
Eric in Edmond says, an hour of Joe telling us what he's learned and conspiracy theories, please.
All right. The ski jump scandal. Trevor in the 360 says, look at his crotch.
Look
at his crotch.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Nice. Marguerite and Lacey says, John, ski jumping is just zip lining without the zip line. LOL.
Okay. Mysterious Chinese Biolab. Jenny in Fall City says, maybe they should box it all up and ship it to China.
Erica M. says, thanks so much for talking about this. You can very quickly call up the county parcel viewer map and do a little research on properties. You can see how many foreign companies and Chinese nationals are buying up land on the east side.
Rihanna in Arlington says, just my luck, we're going to Vegas for the first time this weekend. Ha, ha, ha.
Goodfellas says, I bet Fauci would know what's in those B&B labs, especially the ones in Vegas. After all, he did his experiments in China. Just one big happy Chinese-American laboratory exchange of deadly world viruses and pathogens. What could go wrong?
Yeah, stay away. Don't eat any bats, anybody. When it comes to the Disney weddings, Rachel C. says Mickey Mice's.
Mickey Mice's.
Oh, because there were more than one.
That's right.
Got it. Thank you.
Matt in Seattle
says... It's been a long day. It's going to get longer.
Yes. Matt in Seattle says, John, I thought that Mickey Mouse story was going to take a much darker turn. Glad it was simply your wife's disillusionment.
Yeah, wow, I was going to go darker on that one. Old man John getting married in 2020. Oh, sweetie, I will never forget our night with the shower curtain.
Lisa in Renton says, fun fact, I'm also a huge Disney fan. We usually call ourselves Disney Gigs.
Oh.
In fact, there's a Facebook group called Disney Geeks of Seattle that I'm a part of. Also, I have a friend who got married in front of the Haunted Mansion. He and his bride wore costumes, and the cast members that operate the ride.
And now it is time for the letter of the day.
Didn't get to.
All right. This comes to us from 4 through 5, who notices, just wondering why John's voice sounds different now. It has a higher tone to it. Everyone else still sounds the same. I still like listening to him on the radio, just wondering why his voice sounds different. Other people have noticed it also. If he ends up having a voice sounding like one of those munchkins from The Wizard of Oz, we will continue to listen to him because of his insights and his issues he talks about.
My voice sounds different?
I don't think so.
Okay, well,
but he does.
435 thinks so.
And all his friends think so, too.
Well, on a Monday, my voice is shot out from screaming at the Seahawks and then auctions and stuff. Okay, maybe it's the microphone.
That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote.
Let me turn it down a little bit. There we go. There you go, 435. We got you. Here comes Nathan.
Tacoma to Olympia, plan on an hour with an 11-mile backup that starts near South 74th and really doesn't clear until you're into DuPont, thick from State Route 512 to the JBL and Main Gate. Looks like we might have a new crash there at 512 in the left lane. In Puyallup, westbound 512, we have a new crash just past Meridian around the curve there. It's blocking your right lane. Federal Way, eastbound 18, still heavy from I-5 over past the Valley Freeway. Here in Seattle, North 5 is packed as you approach the West Seattle Bridge. Across the Ship Canal Bridge, about a half hour to clear downtown Seattle. Northbound 99 is still thick through the downtown tunnel from the stadiums up to South Lake Union. Bellevue to Renton's at a half hour. It's packed from Northeast 8th and Bellevue to Coal Creek Parkway. Bellevue to Linwood, 40 minutes. You're slow from mid-Bellevue to Canyon Park. And still really thick through Kirkland. Seattle to Linwood is at a half hour with just scattered slowing now between Mount Lake Terrace and Linwood. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
It's why we bake in the sun, out on the berm every summer at training camp. It's why we scream till it hurts. In the cold and rain, come fall and winter.
Listen to the 12th man.
It's why we're 12s. As the Seahawks look to bring the Lombardi Trophy back to Seattle, it's why there's only one voice we want to hear tell the story.
We are going to the Super Bowl.
Don't miss Steve Rabel calling the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60, live and for free on the KIRO Newsradio app.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's all about you getting more from less. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com.
You know what? Let's throw a party this year for the big game.
Hey, we can invite our friends over, and I'll take turns yelling at the TV during the game.
But first, we should get a new TV.
Yeah, like one of the top-rated brands, Samsung, LG, or Sony.
Okay, so I'll start shopping on the internet, then head over to the Warehouse Club to compare.
But if that's all we do, we'll be sorry.
Why?
Because the best deals on those top-rated TVs are at Video Only, not online or at the club.
Video Only has better deals?
Yep. We could save up to $500 if we shop smart.
Then we could afford a larger model and really impress our friends.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
You'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
John Curley here. We value things that last. Local businesses, relationships, community. That's Madrona Financial and CPAs. They've been serving Washington families for decades, combining taxes and investments under one roof. Most firms just do one or the other, but not both. That's why Madrona offers the Madrona Analysis, a simple review of income, taxes, and investments in one plan. Call 833-673-7373 for your complimentary Madrona Analysis. Madrona Financial and CPAs. Local, trusted, and here to put the whole picture together.
There is one real estate agent who's been helping KIRO listeners longer than anyone else, and that's Wes Jones with sellwithwes.com. Wes, you've helped KIRO listeners in good markets and more difficult ones. What do you think has been the secret to your success?
Thanks, Brandy. Experience has taught us that to outperform the market, we needed to do things differently from the status quo, that we needed to do more. Our exclusive system covers innovative marketing locally and internationally, leading to more eyeballs on your home, better listing prep for better showings, negotiation strategies that eliminate pesky buyer contingencies, and generate stronger offers. Through our exclusive client programs, our sellers enjoy an extraordinary marketing experience utilizing techniques a traditional agent cannot offer.
So if you want to sell your home faster, at a higher price, and with fewer contingencies, if you want more, visit sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com, a better way to sell your home.
For nearly 50 years, over 90,000 homeowners have trusted Home Comfort Alliance, including me. John Curley here. Save up to $2,000 on new heating and cooling systems. Free consultation at homecomfortalliance.com. For comfort, call the comfort people. homecomfortalliance.com.
3 more days until Super Bowl 60. The only station where you hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. KIRO FM and HD1.